It was pretty impressive, actually.
Well, I'll tell you.
Hey, I want to tell you how I made that money. They had casted Luke Rockhold, and a week before he was supposed to fly out to go do the show, to do the movie, he's like, I ain't going. So Bob Cook called me. He's like, hey, I need you to read for these guys, and let me know what you think. Like, if you want to do the show. I'm like, all right, let me see. So I read for him, and I was like, I'm not into it, whatever. And so I didn't want to go, but then they threw some money at me, and I was like, I need a little bit more money. It was during Christmas time, and I was like, I need a little bit more money. And so I had to actually push them back into waiting until after New Year's for me to go. They wanted me to leave the day after Christmas, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm not leaving the day after Christmas. There's no way. And so then a week went by, and then they said, okay, can you leave on January 1st? Like, can you leave that day? I was like, nah. They pushed it to January 2nd. I left on January 2nd. Yeah. I mean, Roger Corman was the producer of it or whatever that put all the money. He's well known for doing Dawn the Dragon Wilson's show, Jackie Chan's, and Jet Li when they first started out. But he did almost all of Dawn the Dragon Wilson's movies. They were all his shows. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I went. Just like in a whim, just went. I read on like 2 days before Christmas, and then a week and a half later, I was in China filming a movie. Yeah, that was it. But in terms of knocking out Nate, it was great. It felt good to get a win, coming back, and the way it happened, and it was great. Next.
All right, our last one comes from Leighton Tapley asking, can Aaron Pico defeat Patricio Pitbull or AJ McKee now that his game is dialed in?
Aaron Pico, just give him just a little bit more time. Right? He has finally learned how to meld his skills, his talents, and perform as an MMA fighter. He's now actually transitioning at times when he didn't know how to before. And he's doing it and doing it purposefully and doing it well. He has found the right spot with the Jackson Winklejohn camp. He is on target to be one of the best featherweights in the world. Just give him another year and a half. That's all I say. Yeah. Give him another year and a half. Don't expect anything out of him, and he's going to be something special.
Yeah. Yes. I rode him hard for a while, and he went to the right camp. They made the adjustments. I said there was all these questions that need to be answered by him. Everyone knows he can wrestle, but all he wanted to do was box. And then he went to Jackson Winks, and they started grooming him into being a real mixed martial artist. And once that happened, he became dangerous. He learned how to. Even up until this last fight, he learned the transitions from the wrestling or from the striking to the takedown. But even before the fights before that, he was still struggling with the punching and the wrestling together. It was one or the other. So the last fight, he answered all those questions, from the punching to the takedowns to the ground and pound. I mean, he's gotten really good. But I have to agree with John. Another year and a half at least. I think at least for him to establish himself as a top featherweight. I think he is one of the top featherweights now in Bellator. But I think he still has the confidence is building, but he needs a little bit more. He went through that rough patch in the beginning, and I think he needs to dig himself out of that in terms of just for himself also. It's to show that he can develop his game. I want to see, he's been trying to hit submissions. He's been trying to do a lot of other things that look really good to his game. But he also hasn't fought the best of the best as of yet right now. He's fighting better guys, but he hasn't fought the top level of guys yet. Now, can he beat Patricio? I'm not ready to say that. I think Patricio's, if you're saying someone's going to have the two of them together, both have a lot of punching power. But I can't recall the last time, outside of the AJ McKee fight, I can't recall the last time Patricio's been knocked out. With Aaron, he can be clipped.
He didn't get knocked out. He got head kicked and stayed on his feet.
Yeah,
pretty good.
That's true as well.
He ended up coming right back up to his feet. So,
yeah. But I think I think AJ would pose. Yeah, AJ poses a lot of concern for him because of the speed and the athleticism, and those are the things that I think would be hard for Aaron. But I think in a year, Aaron will be a completely different fighter than what you see now, and look how good he is now. So I think in a year and a half, you're going to see a completely different person.
His last fight was unbelievable. unbelievable performance.
Yeah.
I mean, and just the pace at what I will give Aiden Lee. Look at that guy, came in shape. He was ready to fight. He just got overwhelmed by a guy that was nonstop, and he was fighting off everything, never gave in. Just an incredible performance by both guys. But Aaron Pico proved at that junction right there, he can be the complete mixed martial artist. He's only getting better. Just give him a little bit of time. That's all we say.
Yeah, I want to see Aaron fight guys like Daniel Weichel, a guy with a lot of experience. You know, guys like that. I want to see him get into that level of guys here shortly. Probably 1 or 2 more fights, I think. And then if I was to go through the rest of these guys, like Jeremy Kennedy's, I don't think it's a good. I think it's an easy matchup for. Not easy. I shouldn't say easy. I think it favors Aaron pretty, and I think same thing with Pedro Carvalho. I think it favors Aaron as well. Daniel Weichel will be a tough matchup because he's so well rounded. He's good everywhere. Got good kickboxing, good boxing as well. Emmanuel Sanchez, I think, is kind of almost tailor-made for him, for Aaron. You know, he walks forward and takes shots, and he gives shots, and I think that's a bad fight for Emmanuel Sanchez. Adam Boric, we've already seen that fight, but I'm sure they may run it back again. Mads Burnell, not a good, easy,
not right now.
Not right now, but I think it's a fight that he could beat him. Because Mads can't take him down, and Aaron's got better boxing.
But if Mads is a guy who will stand in front of him and keep coming forward, and eventually that pressure will make Aaron try to take him down, and that's what Mads wants. So.
Yeah, possibly. I think Aaron's got enough power though to make Mads stay away. But I mean, there's a lot of interesting.
He's got fire in his hands.
Yeah, he does. All right, so before we wrap this up, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. Make sure you guys use the promo code ANDSTILL and pick up any of our shirts in all different colors. We've got that one right there, which is Home Improvement with Podcast Dave hanging over the fence, and John with the big mammoth hands, or small tiny hands, I think is what it is. You have little small hands on that picture.
Whoa. Do I have small hands?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, you have small
Look
hands.
at your little small hands. That's wrong.
I do have small hands though in real life. We've got the Terminator shirt. We've got Home Improvement. We've got Karate Kid. We've got all of our original logos as well as the logo that we have now in all different colors: black, blue, red, green, and gray, and a bunch of other stuff. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. Use the promo code ANDSTILL. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on all of our channels on the iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify. Those are our major ones, so go ahead and hit the subscribe there for the audio platforms. And then go to YouTube. Hit the link down below in our major YouTube channel. That'll take you to our Clips channel where we do our Wayne interjection, which we're about to film right now after we wrap this up.
Trouble!
So John, that wraps us up. What do you got, bud?
It does wrap us up. I want to say thank you for everyone that came in to listen to us. We hope you enjoyed. Sorry that there is not going to be a major fight this weekend, but we will come up with something that you would like to see. And as I say this, I say, see ya.
invalid target. Invalid target. You can't attack that. Can't attack that one. We need a clear line of sight. That's an invalid target. That's the wrong target.
This one's the perfect gift for the friend who's been getting a little too comfortable during quarantine, maybe your son, a father, or your boyfriend. In which case, it's really a gift for yourself, ladies and gents. Manscaped and their new performance package. This all-in-one kit that helps you maintain every bush or forest located below your head. Starting off with the star of the show, the updated Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. I didn't think I'd ever be so excited over an LED being included onto an electric razor, but here I am confirming it's pretty wicked. Look, I know, this visual isn't pleasant for either of us, but I had to verify that this thing can cut, and cut it does indeed. It's especially great if you grow patchy bushes like I do in the most visible areas. But let's be real, it's for this. And with a 7,000 RPM blade combined with that built-in light, their skin-safe ceramic blades help reduce the chances of nicking yourself. Basically, as long as you go slow and steady, you'll be fine. Unless you're into this, then you do you. If you have really shaky hands, they do include a guard that ensures the blade and your sensitive areas, both physically and emotionally, stay socially distanced. Plus, when you're done, it's waterproof too, making it one of the easiest trimmers to maintain, but that also means bath time just became a little more adventurous. Now, the trimmer itself may be mistaken as another vibrating tool with its ribbed and textured.
Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Believe You Me podcast. Myself and Luis J. Gomez. How are you, Luis? There's a lot going on right now. We got madness. I'm not sure what is happening in the world. The first thing we're going to talk about, but things are a little crazy right now.
Yeah, things are crazy. I am just sitting here waiting for another huge storm to hit the New York, New Jersey area. It's supposed to come down like crazy again. And this means that my vacation could be delayed. So I'm very frustrated and on edge, and I just have no control. It's just, it's in God's hands right now.
Well, you're a climate change denier, so you get what you deserve. Do you know what I mean? If you dig a little bit, you never know.
Not a climate change denier. You just made that up about me. Second of all, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The rain has nothing to do with climate change. It's just rain. It always
Crazy
rains.
storms like that, but we won't get into all that shit because we
the
talked
first
about
time
that.
it's rained.
No, it's not. You just had floods there. You got crazy floods. You got like a insane flooding and shit everywhere. But still, we're not going to get into that. But I hope your vacation doesn't get delayed because that would be a fucking nightmare. Do you think that's going to happen?
We'll see how bad it is in the morning. It's supposed to get really bad overnight again. Also, we just spent like $5,000 to have the studio. Everything had to be taken out of the studio, so we're worried about that again because we have a sub-level studio. So yeah, we're a little bit on edge over here on the Gas Digital side, but I'm sure the weather's fucking perfect in California.
It's actually very, very nice. I went for a beautiful little run this morning. It's great. I'm getting a little too burnt, though. I need to start putting a bit of cream on when I go for my runs. What I said, things are
The
getting
problem
crazy.
is that the sun is too nice.
It's just too nice, and there's just no clouds to shelter you at all. Do you know what I mean? It's just that perfect temperature. Do you know what I mean? But you get
Horrible.
bored of it. You get
Sounds
bored.
horrible.
I like a little variation, Lewis. You know what I mean? It's just sun and sand and beautiful ladies everywhere, and everyone's just in a good mood. It's like I prefer it to be mixed up a touch.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys all have the electric cars out there and the fucking, and yet you still have sunshine or whatever. So yeah,
there we go.
Maybe you're onto something.
Sunshine and rainbows. All right. I couldn't believe this yesterday. I'm sitting on the couch, scrolling social media, having a little flick through Twitter, and I see, because there's a lot of bullshit accounts out there. There's one that I just had to block. I don't even follow them, but on like Twitter, you can click some tabs, of interest that you like, and they keep throwing stuff up. Fucking, that annoys me, by the way. I get sent some not sent, on my timeline, there's some shitty fucking tweets and stuff I'm not interested in. But because I obviously clicked MMA as an interest of mine, I get lots of stuff. And there was one, MMA Press. They're full of shit. They just lie. It's crazy outlandish stories. They're trying to be funny, I guess, but I blocked them. So I saw another one, and it said, Donald Trump to commentate Triller this weekend. And I was like rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. More bullshit. But then I scrolled down again and again and again. And lo and behold, when you start seeing MMA Fighting reporting it, and MMA Junkie reported it, and it's everywhere, and all the big news sites. This weekend for Evander Holyfield versus Vitor Belfort, and of course Tito and Anderson in the co-main event. And actually, there's some good boxing matches on below it. David Hay, British boxer, makes his return. Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. are offering their alternative commentary, Lewis.
So is it alternative commentary, or is he going to be on the main broadcast?
He's basically taking up the job that Snoop Dogg didn't want to do. It's from what I read, and Harrington just fact-checked that, but I'm pretty sure it's just the alternative commentary. And I would never pay for a Triller event. But if I stream it, I don't think I'll get the alternative feed, because I'm definitely tuning in for Donald Trump commentating fights.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of fun. He is a fight fan. That's not, he was integral, I guess, when the UFC was coming to Atlantic City and getting them into different hotels in Atlantic City. So big fight fan for a long time. It's not that crazy. Why would he want to do it? I mean, he's been fucking bent. He needs a voice. He needs something. He's not on Twitter. He's not on Instagram. He's not on social media. I think he just wants to get out there and have his voice heard by somebody.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. To be fair, it's a bit of a step down, though, isn't it? I mean, the man's just...
You think? President to commentating a Triller event?
Bit of a step down. Do you know what? Hey, listen, God bless him. He's hustling. He's probably going to get paid a lot of money. But
I don't think money even matters.
No, I was going to say probably money's not the cachet here. It's just about getting his voice out there. But
hold on. Harrington says Triller's going to have two commentary teams. Trump and Trump Jr. are one of them. Does that mean that they're going to go to different commentary live during the broadcast, or is this alternative commentary?
It's precisely as I said. Harrington did not need to write that and confuse you. It's precisely as I said. It's the alternative one.
How do you get the alternative, though? You're right. I'm intrigued. I would like to get the alternative.
Well, so when you stream it, you just click a button. So when you buy it, there's a choice there. Contender did it. When the Contender first started, the first season, might have been the second as well. I think it was just the first. They had Snoop Dogg and Uriah Faber as the alternative.
You know what
commentary.
It was, though? I didn't know that they did it live with Snoop Dogg and Uriah Faber. I thought that was like other content that you could watch with them commentating over. That's what I assumed that was.
No,
That's
they
cool,
were there. Yeah, okay. No, they were there, and then as we know, Snoop Dogg did the last Triller, but now Donald Trump is stepping in.
Who would you rather hang out with, Snoop Dogg or Donald Trump? One night. Because they're both going to be annoying. They're both going to be annoying as fuck. You know this.
Snoop Dogg all day. Come on, bud. Come on, 100%. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I literally thought I was being trolled. I thought everyone's talking shit. It's insane. It's insane. You know who's going to be happy about this stuff? Who's going to be so happy about this? He's coming in his pants right now. Tito Ortiz. Tito, he worships Donald Trump. He worships him. So to have him calling this fight, this is like his birthday, it's Christmas, it's all that shit rolled into one for him. The only problem is he's got to beat Anderson Silva if he wants to get to speak to him. So we'll see what happens.
Can Donald Trump be reacclimated into just regular celebrity society? Like, can he? Because this, in my opinion, this is a weird first step. It's like, I feel like he's stepping away from politics saying, cool, I'll go just do television, do whatever I want to do. Can he go back and not be the most hated man in America and just be a TV personality and that sort of be a bad memory from the past? Or do you think it's over for him?
I mean, listen, we mentioned politics for 1 second on here and it divides the audience. What do you think Donald Trump's done for the last 4 years? But listen. I mean, I don't understand Triller. He's mates with Dana White. If he wants to do some commentary, he should go for the good stuff at least, not this bloody garbage.
I don't think Dana White would allow. I mean, that would be crazy.
If I get fucked off for Donald Trump, I'm just saying I won't be happy. Okay? If he says,
dude, I hope they take you out of XXX too for Donald Trump. He plays your part.
No, Den of Thieves too. They're like,
Den of Thieves too.
Yeah. XXX. There's been like 17 XXXs. They'll be like, yeah, sorry, Mike, bad news. I'm like, what's that? I'm like, oh, they're not making Den of Thieves 2 anymore. I said, no, they are. You're just not going to be in it.
Weird choice.
Why? Oh, they've decided to go with Donald Trump instead. Yeah. Weirdness, man. It's crazy. And Donald Trump Jr. as well. So there you go. You get both of them. It's going to be great. All they need now is Marjorie Taylor Greene and a couple of other dickheads and the whole lot there. Not that I'm calling Trump a dickhead, by the way.
Not that I'm calling Marjorie Taylor Greene a dickhead.
She's kind of a dickhead, though.
Not that I know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is.
Oh, you don't? Oh, Jesus Christ. She is a dickhead. Anywho, moving on, sticking on Triller for just a second, though. But I couldn't believe that. They came out this weekend. Harrington put it in the notes, so I didn't want to mention too much Triller because it's fucking garbage, but still.
It's a joke of an organization. It really is.
It is. And Jake Paul, and I don't want to talk about him either, but he did the right thing stepping away from them. But he says, speaking of this freak show Saturday night, the president of Triller, and listen to that part, by the way, the president of Triller says that Mike Tyson is really scared of getting knocked out by Evander Holyfield. Said, we have an offer out to Mike Tyson. We know he's trying to stage a fight with Lennox Lewis, and we've been told that he's scared to fight Evander. There's been back and forth hoopla. This is a massive payday, ready for Mike to fight on Thanksgiving, a massive payday, one of his absolute biggest, but we can't seem to push it along. Now I've heard from a number of reliable sources that Mike is just too scared. He thinks Evander will knock him out. First of all, very convenient couple of days before Evander fights at the weekend. And secondly, if you believe for 1 second that Mike Tyson would allow those words to come from his mouth, that he's scared of getting knocked out. You know, I don't have a personal relationship with Mike Tyson, but the persona that I know does not speak in those terms.
It's pretty interesting because it's not like you even said that, because you didn't say Mike Tyson is 100% no way scared deep down of Evander Holyfield. You're saying you just wouldn't allow himself to say those words to anybody.
Well, listen, we all have demons. We all have little things going on inside, but I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying, though, there's no way. That's how I know it's bullshit, because there's no way Mike Tyson's going around, I wish I could do a Mike Tyson. And, you know, man, I'm kind of scared. I can't do it.
That sounds more like Cheech from Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, to be fair. I can't do Mike Tyson, but there's just no fucking way. There's absolutely no way.
Ludicrous. If you think I'm scared of him, ludicrous.
Yeah, spinal. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But Triller, you're full of shit. There you go. Now, listen, I want to talk about this a little bit. Bit of sadness going on. I saw a very, very disturbing video, and I know you're yet to see. I think you've read the article.
Yeah.
You're yet to see it. Where do you see the state of him? And it's really sad. I'm not. Obviously, normally on here we're all silly and we take the piss, you know. But Stephan Bonner, of course, former UFC guy, UFC Hall of Famer as well. Video surfaced this week. I saw it a few days ago. I didn't really want to talk about it. I guess it's a slow news week. Yeah. But
that's why I didn't watch the video. We were supposed to talk about this the other day, and you're like, nah. I was like, all right, well, fuck it.
I don't want to kick a man while he's down, but like the guy needs help. He really, really does. And plus, there's no UFC fights on this weekend. We're going to talk about something.
Sorry,
Yeah, so Stefan, from what I can see, and we'll roll the tape in just a second, Brian, he's at a hospital. And he's claiming, and this is what made me think of it then, Spinal, Mike Tyson's famous line, when he said, I broke my back. He's at the hospital. He's saying that he's got a fractured vertebrae. Obviously did an analysis on himself. And so I got the x-ray results. He says he's got a fractured vertebrae and he needs some medication because he went to the pharmacy to get his Percocet and they wouldn't give him any and they wouldn't refill it and all the rest of it. So he's gone to the hospital. So it sounds like, from what I can decipher, he's gone to the pharmacy. He's tried to get more painkillers, more Percocet, you know, because they're highly addictive, and they won't give him any. So he goes to the hospital to try and like blag, is what we'd say in England, to try and blag some out of the doctors, and they've seen it coming a mile away. And in the end, they've called the police, and you can just see. And I feel sorry for him, and I really do, and we'll talk about that afterwards, because it is a fucked up situation. But Brian, press play, my friend.
Good. Okay. Start talking. You can record all you want. Fuck, I can't come to the front of the car and record. It's either one or the other. I can't move. I can't move, man. Like, really? Now you're gonna make me stop recording and then start again? There. Okay.
This is his own video?
Yeah.
It's just weird that he's not like self-aware enough to know already that this looks weird.
No, I never went to a hospital. I never went to a hospital. I went to a doctor's office, Dr. Steven Standers, 2020 Palomino Lane, bone and joint specialist. My orthopedic surgeon is 17 years, got a great relationship with him. That's why I go to him instead of going to the emergency room first.
I know Dr. Sanders, great guy.
I'm going to get
one of the
treatment
UFC
for a
doctors.
broken vertebrae, a fractured vertebrae. I'm coming to get treatment for a fractured vertebrae. What's he doing? He's gonna come choke me out. Like, come on, dude. Like, I'm that stupid. God. No! I can't sit, dumb fuck. My back's broken.
It's just like Mike Tyson.
Dude, I do
Fine.
appreciate that.
My back is broke.
I'm a UFC Hall of Famer. I don't have my license on me.
Fuck yeah, Stefan.
Card. You know why? Because the pharmacist at CVS forgot it to give it back to me. You know when? She was telling me I couldn't get my 7.5 milligram Norcos because...
All right, chill, Stefan.
Guess why? Because I recently had 10 milligram oxys filled. So they could only give me tramadol.
Oh, you know what that shit? That's weak ass.
Like, doesn't work. It's piss. And the oxycodone 10 milligrams are all gone. So I came to that emergency room.
There's a part where you can see him
suffering with a fractured fucking lumbar vertebrae, doctor, for a week.
Wow.
4477.
Poor guy. There's another video though, Brian, where he's talking and he looks.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him. Like, just I think the first sign that he's like kind of fucked up in some way is that he's posting that himself. It's not like it's somebody else's video of him freaking out. He's going like, look, the guy, dude, chill.
Press play here.
Good
one. But you get more context on his issue here.
Are you really not going to talk to me? I thought the doctor was here. You're the doctor. It's really the doctor. All right, sorry, I thought it was a big lie. It is you. Okay, I was going to give you something here. Oh, wait. Freaking, here, where are you going, doctor? Where are you going? I'm at Henderson Hospital, and the doctor won't talk to me.
You can't record. We're not getting you permission to record it.
Hey, I came to, then let me talk to the doctor.
Jesus.
I'm at Henderson Hospital, and they're gonna arrest me. They won't treat me because I get prescribed oxycodone 10 milligrams, and I got it filled a few weeks ago. Anyway, last week when I broke my vertebrae pro wrestling off the top rope, since I got those filled.
Yeah. I think we got it. I think we got it.
Yeah. Wow, poor guy. I mean, because listen, that's I mean, I've had my stuff with that, you know, I've had my run-ins with those stuff because when I, you know, obviously he had a long career in the UFC and he does do pro wrestling now. I see him and Phil Baroni because I follow them on Instagram. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it for a while, but they were always doing like pro wrestling things. So there's a lot of injuries.
That's not a very good profession to get into if you're already having substance abuse problems because those guys are notoriously hooked on pain shit.
Yeah, of course, and tons of steroids at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So then you've got bloody anger issues and you're very volatile and all the rest of it, plus all the pain and the pain meds. But it's bad, you know, because there's a real epidemic with the opioids. But when I moved here, and I'm sure they have something similar in the UK, but they don't have Percocet. But I'm sure, as I say, they've probably got something very similar. But I'd never had anything like that, never heard of anything like that. And then when I moved out here, fucking hell, it wasn't long, you know, all my injuries, they're giving me prescriptions for Percocet and things like that. And I needed it because of the pain. I had about probably about 10 surgeries on my left knee before I had the knee replacement. So I was getting them all the time. And they are very, very fucking addictive. You know, even Callum, when he had surgery, he said to me, wow, Dad, they make you feel really good, don't they? I'm like, yeah, no more, son. That's enough.
Yeah, no, I know. I bought a bunch of painkillers from a guy one time, and you know, for a week I had a party.
Yeah, they make you feel fantastic.
Incredible, dude. Feel like you're being hugged by God. It's incredible.
Yeah. But see, that's the problem now, though, because for him, and this is what happens with a lot of people, and it's nothing that nobody doesn't know. They're heroin substitutes, basically. Do you know what I mean? And when you can't get it from the doctor, what do? That's how they end up.
I don't even know. I don't know his deal, right? So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and let's just say he's being completely honest. But people just out there, I mean, I have friends who were addicted to opioids, and then they switched over to Kratom, which is a natural substitute. Which, I mean, I'm sure that's addictive as well, but at the very least, it's not fucking destroying your body the same way opioids do. So maybe he's got to fucking go to a gas station and buy some Kratom. It's gross.
He needs to get some professional help is what he needs. He needs to go to rehab. I saw a lot of people reaching out because that was on an Instagram. Mark Coleman, Diego Sanchez, there was a ton of others. They were all saying, you know, hope you get the help you need and all the rest of it. And I say the same thing because he didn't look good there, man. He didn't look good, and God bless him, he's out of his mind at the fucking hospital, screaming and shouting, trying to get drugs. It's a sad state of affairs. It really is, you know. And that always scared me, you know, because look at that. He was big news in the UFC, and now he's not. And now he's doing whatever he's doing, and it looks like he's kind of spiraling. You know what I mean? Fucking hell, poor guy. It's very, very sad.
Yeah, I wish him the best, and you know. It's he's got to have some people around him though that are fucking, you know, take his cell phone away from him, or you know,
take the cell phone away. 100%.
He should be having an Instagram account to post crazy shit like that. Like he's getting himself. It's not even somebody else that's catching him doing crazy shit. No, I know.
That's the crazy part about it, as you say. You know what I mean? Somebody gets you. That is the problem when you're.
We've all been crazy.
Well, we've all 100%. We've all done dumb shit, but we don't normally film ourselves. Sometimes they film you.
Dude,
sometimes
I did some crazy shit. I did some crazy shit yesterday, Union Square, and somebody could have been filming. It wasn't that crazy, but it
what was the crazy shit?
So I was driving by and I was making a left turn, and I didn't even do anything. I literally just was making the left turn, and there was a male woman, like a lady, you know, that works for the mail service.
A male woman.
Not a trans.
I was going to say, like, whoa, you're very woke here. He, him. It was a male and a woman at the same time. What did he call that? Interbinary or something?
No, this is.
It was an interbinary.
A person who worked for the post office who happened to be a woman. So she's walking across the street with her bag. I don't even know what the fuck was going on. She just looked at me and made a face and just started talking shit, right? She was like
hold on, so you're in the car, you're making a left turn at Union Square, there's a woman in the street, she looks at you and starts talking shit.
She starts talking shit. It's bizarre. Maybe she thought it was too close to the line. Maybe it was something like that. I don't know, but I wasn't even moving. It was just bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. So I rolled down the window, I was like, what's going on? And that's all I said, and then she had a water bottle, and she threw the water bottle at my car. Now, she's a woman, and of course she missed the car. So I pulled the car over real quick. I turned the corner, pulled the car over, and I jumped out of the car. And I started filming her. And I was like, Miss, why did you throw a water bottle at me? She's like, because you almost hit me with your car. And I was like, no, I didn't. She's like, yeah, you did. Then I was like, what am I even doing? Like, I'm literally in the middle of like...
I was going to say devil's avocado.
Yeah.
You probably almost hit her with your car.
No,
right?
I didn't. I swear to God I didn't. I swear.
Angry for something, and just drive away. Just roll
I
on
know.
by.
I
Roll
should've.
on by the crazy lady. No need to stop. No need to get out the fucking car, you nut job.
I know. I have the video. It's me like chasing her down the street. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm chasing a woman. What happens? First of all, she threw a bottle at me for literally just looking at her. I don't even know why. She threw a bottle at me. She's obviously a fucking crazy person who's like angry. What happens if she starts fighting me? Now I'm in the middle of Union Square fighting a woman. I'm gonna get on video camera. Some dude's gonna fucking jump in and beat my ass. I'm gonna get beat up by a bunch of guys in fucking Union Square. And here I am on TMZ.
I hope to.
Michael Bisping's opener. Michael Bisping's opener.
I say he's fucking got nothing to do with me. At this point, you're dead. You're dead to me. No. He's been bothering me for quite some time. God, you nutcase. What were we talking about, though? What was it? What got us into that?
What did get us into that?
I have no
Just went
idea.
on a little journey there, baby.
Mine's
boy.
gone blank. What were we talking about? Who cares? Whatever. Can't be that
Drugs.
important.
Bonner.
Drugs.
Yes.
Bonner. Okay.
No,
Boner.
I thought you were blaming drugs on our conversation.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Hey, Mike, let's take a quick moment and thank Stat Hero for supporting today's show. Stat Hero, great service. I don't know if you know this, but 85% of people who play daily fantasy sports lose. That's not a good thing. If you guys like playing daily sports and you know that, you're going to probably want to dip out of the game. Is that really surprising, though? The game is rigged against you. You're playing against thousands of other lineups, not to mention experts who have more tools, more time, and you really don't stand a chance. So this is why we're introducing you to Stat Hero, the first ever daily fantasy sports book that puts the player in control and winning within reach.
Yeah, look, listen, anytime you're doing daily fantasy sports, it's a big business, and there's a lot of sharks out there that they really dedicate their entire life to doing this. So Stat Hero kind of eradicates all of that because it's you versus the house. You're not playing against thousands, hundreds of thousands, or maybe just hundreds. Maybe it's 5. Who cares? You're not playing against any others. You're playing against the house, and that's it. It's you versus them. Here's how it works. Stat Hero shows you their lineups and dares you to beat them. It is you versus the house in a head-to-head fantasy matchup. You name your stakes, winner takes all. You had one advantage. Stat Hero is showing you their lineups ahead of time, and nobody else does that. Think about it. They show you your hand. All you got to do is pick a lineup that beats that, okay? You're in total control. Stat Hero is the daily fantasy sport the way it was supposed to be, which is one-on-one. Play Stat Hero right now and change the odds. All you got to do is go to stathero.com/believe. Sign up for free, and right now you can get 3 times back on your first play. Yes, that is correct. They are giving you a 300% match, and that is unheard of. To take advantage, though, you got to go to stathero.com/believe. Stat, STAT, hero.com/believe. And if you win some money, feel free to send me a little piece in the mail. Well, let's move on, shall we? Ariane Celeste, remember we spoke about this. Khabib came out a few weeks ago, and he said, he didn't like the ring girls, and they're kind of pointless and all the rest of it, because, he's a very devout Muslim, and, he has some strong views on stuff like that. And we discussed it on the podcast. And I didn't know this, but there was some websites must have made a little article about it or whatnot, because Saturday I was commentating the UFC, or was it the week before? It might have been the week before, who cares? I go to the bathroom. In between commentating, you need a piss, you know what I mean? In between fights, you gotta wait, push a button on the top. I said, can I go for a pee? They're like, yes, quick, boom. So I'm running through, and Ariane Celeste is there. She said, oh, thanks for having our back. I'm like, what? What did I say? She said, oh, the Khabib thing. You had our back. She said, leave us alone, all the rest of it. I'm like, did I? I don't recall saying that, but still.
I remember the opposite. I remember specifically trashing them and saying there was no reason for their job.
I know, but I took it. I'm like, oh, yeah, of course, guys. What you do, it's hard work. It's hard work. Anyway, she's clapped back.
She can't read.
Yeah, oh God, stop it. No, but she's clapped back at Khabib on Instagram.
Uh-oh.
And she went a little bit, a little bit over the top. But go on, Brian, insert. I can't read it there, but she's...
tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care. Jerry.
All right. Let's pause that. Show her up. She says, for 15 years, we've been more than just ring girls. We have dedicated time in promoting the UFC and showing love and time to our diehard fans throughout touring the world and personal appearances. And while the world is very different right now, I can still feel the energy and love every time we have a show with an audience. It's taken me 15 years of hard work and dedication and time to be a badass, independently wealthy female.
Did she say time 3 times?
Hold on, let me see. Maybe. But she lists her accomplishments here. But by the way, it took her 15 years, though. To be fair, it's not easy walking around in a circle. Go back up, Brian.
Yeah, I want to keep on reading, please.
15 years to be a badass, independently wealthy female, a real estate investor and owner of not just one, but 3 homes, properties, one located in LA, which, as we know, is expensive as fuck. And a female is not afraid to take risks and build for my future. You can call us useless, but to people like me who have worked this hard, it slips right off my shoulders. My life is too good to be happy. We'll leave it there. But, hey, fair play. She's allowed to defend herself. She went on a bit of a braggadocious mission there, though. It's like, yeah. No need to mention how wealthy you are and how many homes and all the rest of it, but I see your point.
I don't know.
I know.
She's really rich and hot. Fuck you, Ariana. You have everything. I can't feel bad for you. There's just nothing like she won the genetic lottery. She's rich for walking around a ring with some numbers, and God bless her. I'm not hating. You play your cards. Play your fucking cards. Her cards was being gorgeous, like a fucking absolute dime piece. And there's plenty of gorgeous women that are, live in, the swamps of Alabama, or where, I don't know if there's even swamps in Alabama, but there's plenty of hot women that have not parlayed that into an illustrious career and riches, and, but let's, come on.
Yeah, but I think
have a little self-awareness, Ariane.
Yeah, but I think that's the point, though, isn't it? Because as you just said, there is plenty of hot girls out there, and they haven't parlayed that into a successful career. You know what I mean? Look how hilarious she is. What do you mean, Brian? You said, look how hilarious she is.
That's a running joke on Legion of Skanks, is when we think someone's hot, a girl's hot, we call her hilarious.
Oh, I see. What was I going to say? Yeah, no, you said, I don't know if there's swamps in Alabama. Pretty sure there is right now because they got a lot of rain. But, hey, fair play to her. Because, as I say, it's hard, man, walking around in that circle. Heels and stuff, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of distraction, there's light.
Also, devil's advocate?
Lasers coming in your eye. Do you know what I mean? There could be coaches swinging things around.
You say coming in your eye? What'd you just say?
Lasers coming in your eyes.
Devil's advocate.
Please.
It's not just walking in a circle, Michael. It is walking in an octagon shape. There's 8. You got to turn the corner 8 times. That is way harder than a boxing ring girl who has to turn the corner 4 times. It is twice the job they do.
You've got to negotiate those angles perfectly. Do you know what I mean? And you overturn that, you overstep, you overdo that angle turn, you're going right into the fence. You're going to look like a dickhead on TV.
If you turn right instead of left one day, you fall right into the crowd.
I'm not making fun of Ariana. We're having a bit of fun with ring girls, but hey, fair play. Khabib talk shit. Khabib talk shit. She's allowed to clap back. Fair play.
Chat shit, get hit. That's what Michael Bisping always says. So.
I don't. I say chat shit, get banged.
Sorry, that's the British version. So yeah, no, we are just fucking around. Obviously, I think Ariane's great. I'm a big fan. I'm a big dumb idiot. So who am I? But I will say, good God for you. Good for you.
God for you. Either.
God for you.
I will say this though, them two, her and Brittany Palmer, they're the main two. There is others, of course. There's a lot these days, but they're the main two that the mainstays, if you will, for a long time, and they have done that. They make a lot of money.
Can you name any others?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Luciana.
Do you know her last name?
No, I don't. I don't need to know the ring girls. I put all my attention on to, see, this is what a great devoted man I am.
Wow.
I don't even know their names. I don't even know their fucking names. Chrissy Blair. There you go.
It's Rebecca.
Yeah. No, what was I going to say? No, they've done very well for themselves. Because, to be fair, they do fly a lot. Anytime I used to do, signings and whatnot, they were always there, killing it as well, their stands. Because, the UFC fans, they all love a good-looking, pretty girl. And, we were talking about it, OnlyFans. I don't know if this is true, but I got told Brittany Palmer puts pictures of her feet on OnlyFans. She's making $30,000 a month. Hey, fuck it. I'd do that.
Yeah. Would you do it? I bet you can make a lot of money if you put your feet on OnlyFans.
Pictures of my feet.
Bro. Can we please start a Bisping feet OnlyFans?
Have you seen my feet? Jesus
They're horrendous.
Christ.
They're troll feet.
Yeah, because I fucking done combat sports and rugby my entire life, and that's just what happens.
See, he can't even take the hit. It's got to be because he's such a badass. That's why he has ugly feet.
Well, it's true, though. It's true, because he gets trampled on and crushed on. Because I remember when I first went to see somebody had an injury, and I apologised to the physio. I'm like, oh, yeah, my feet are a bit gross. He goes, mate, I'm a physio for professional footballers. You want to see state of their feet because they get stamped on all the time. But, I remember when I fought Talislitis in Glasgow. I win the fight. Beat him, good fight. The Sun newspaper, which is a big paper in the UK, the headline and the picture, it's all centered around my toe. Right, and in the fucking gigantic picture, it's zoomed in, and my toenails are better now because I took some medication because they kind of got gross for a bit. They got fucking disgusting and a bit manky. But I took medication now, and they're gleaming white. They're beautiful. You can eat your dinner off them. But back then, not so much. And what happened was in the Talislitis fight, I think on one of the sponsored patches, because I always wanted to be on the sponsored patches, because when you're on the blue of the octagon, it's very slippy. But on the sponsored patches, there's way more tread, you know, because it's thick. And it's like sandpaper, like very coarse sandpaper. So I must have like pivoted, and it ripped off all the skin on the end of my feet. And then in the newspaper, in the Sun, I don't see if you can find it, Brian. Google Michael Bisping's toe, Talislitis fight, Glasgow, horrendous toe. Anyway, that's what was the picture. Not me looking cool with my hands in the air, gleaming in sweat with a little blood coming out my eye or whatever. No, it was zoomed in on my fucking disgusting feet.
That's it. No respect. No respect for the legend that is Michael Bisping.
Zero.
Yeah, but I have seen your feet recently. They're not gleaming, Bisping.
Those are pretty. Oh yeah, there they go. Look at that bit though, hanging off the edge. Oh, that was fucking. It was gross. It was bad. It was big, thick.
I have one manky foot, one manky toe right now.
Well, it's going to turn into 10.
No, I'm gonna. The salt water really helps it. That's why I'm very excited about Jamaica as well, because the salt water is one of the best things you can do for a manky toe.
Bro, no, you gotta get antibiotics. Trust me. I tried everything and everything and everything and everything else. And if there was something else, I tried that as well.
I've been using a topical cream for 6 months. It's done almost nothing.
Yeah, they do nothing. They do nothing. And I'm sorry if you're here for MMA. We're talking about fungal nail infections. So
and we're sorry if you work for one of these over-the-counter topical cream companies. We got to be honest about it. It doesn't work.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now. They don't work. They're going to rip you off. In fact, God, Ellie's doing an assignment for college, and she needs to write up a commercial that is misleading, where they sell something that doesn't work. I should have told her. The fungal nail creams, that's the biggest scam on planet Earth. They don't do shit. And
they're
salt water,
expensive as shit.
I can't remember, but the salt water does even less.
No, salt water, I'm telling you right now, dude, when I was in Jamaica last time, it started really going away. And I feel like if I had another week or two, it would have been perfect.
Just FYI, one more time, my feet are good now. My feet are good. Anyway, we'll move off that before everyone throws up. But yeah, on that toe, that was fucking painful. Because then I think that happened in the second or the third round. I still had half the fight to get through. And every time I stepped, oh my God, it was very, very painful. Paddy Baddy. He's on everyone's lips right now. Paddy the Baddy. I like Paddy Baddy. Paddy Baddy. He's on everyone's lips. He said he's going to be the cash cow. He says he's going to take over the sport. And I must admit, when you're going through social media, he's popping up. You're seeing that face a lot.
Easy time.
Self-fulfilling. I love it. I love it. I take a lesson. I'm inspired by Paddy the Baddy, because it is he laid out a foundation for himself, and now he's just gonna tap it in. Simple as that. And I love it. I'm very inspired.
Tap it in. Anyway, again, good news for him. He's kind of having a little back and forth with Sugar Sean O'Malley. Not face to face, but he talked about Sean O'Malley, and Sean O'Malley came back and spoke about him. Paddy Pimblett said of Sean O'Malley, he said, he's a bit of a bitch ass, hurts his fucking ankle and blames his loss on that, lad. And he's a little pothead as well. O'Malley's stoned half the time. He's got good strikes, but, you know, he's got good stand-up, like, but as soon as he gets in there with a decent grappler, he's going to get beat, you know. I like people who interact with the fans. Without the fans, we wouldn't be where we are now. So, you know, the fact that he does that makes me like him. So he ended on a positive, and then Sean O'Malley came back and said, I don't know if you do a Sean O'Malley, but go ahead, Lewis, give it a try.
Let me see here. Let me pull it up. I apologize.
Jesus Christ. Just get
Sorry,
rid of it,
you were doing it.
I can't do Sean O'Malley.
No, I'll do Sean O'Malley right now.
I didn't know he was talking shit about me. That's not nice. I wonder why people just assume.
All right. I didn't know he was talking shit about me. That's not nice. I wonder why people just assume I have bad grappling. It's just weird people assume because I'm a good striker, I must be a bad grappler. Maybe he just knows, talk bad about me, it's publicity. He obviously knows what he's doing as far as marketing himself.
That was the best segment we've ever done on this show. That was fucking great. That was electricity. Bottle in a can. No, lightning in a bottle. Bottle in a can. He's right though. Sean is right. He is correct. You know, because it is Sean O'Malley's a big star. Paddy is encroaching on that stardom, and that would be a good fight. I mean, they are in the same weight class.
No, they're not. Paddy's 155.
Oh shit! Yeah. What am I saying?
They're never fighting each other.
Never, ever. So it's a good idea.
One Paddy has fought at 145 as the champion at 145, but I don't think Sean. I mean, look, once I guess there's a chance we could see Sean at 145 one day, right?
I doubt it. I doubt it because he used to really, really struggle making 145 at Cage Warriors, and he lost it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think we'll see that. But Sean is right. It is good for Paddy to be talking about him. And to be fair to Sean O'Malley's point, he is a good grappler because you don't see it from O'Malley. But I know he's entered some jiu-jitsu tournaments and done very, very well. I think he was on Chaels as well. Chaels Submission Underground. I think he was on there once. So
yeah, I'm sure that is grappling. If you're in the UFC, just typically, I think getting to the the highest level, you're gonna have at least pretty decent grappling. Paddy Pimblett, I also don't know if he's talking about Sean O'Malley to make waves. He's making waves enough for himself right now. I know that Sean's a big name, but the reality is I see Paddy Pimblett on a really nasty trajectory as long as he keeps winning. I mean, look, there was some questions there about that first performance. He did get clipped pretty hard, and no offense to Vendrami, there are guys that are tougher, higher caliber strikers than him in the division that would give him some real problems. I mean, if Justin Gaethje hit him with that type of punch, I don't think that he would have gotten up from that, right? So,
who was it again?
Justin
Who hit
Gaethje?
him? No, the other guy. Who landed the shot on Paddy? Who was it?
Vendrami?
Yeah. Oh, that guy. Is he
How do I
signed
say
with
it?
Is he signed with the UFC?
Nobody knows his name.
Luigi Vendramini.
Vendramini. I'll never forget it now.
It's okay.
But the point is that I think what's going on right now is Paddy Pimblett likes to talk. And you're going to catch Paddy Pimblett saying, there's a lot of angles you'll catch him talking about. If you ask him, what happened if somebody asked him about Sean O'Malley? I don't think Paddy Pimblett was like, I got to go make some fucking headlines today. He did an interview with Ariel Helwani or somebody, and I was like, what do you think of Sean O'Malley, blah, 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 blah. And then he gave an opinion on it. So I don't buy that Paddy's trying to ride the Sean O'Malley wave. I think Sean O'Malley should be taking a page out of Paddy Pimblett's book and coming in with that sort of fuck everybody, I'm about to take over attitude, as opposed to having the attitude of, pay me more and I'll fight bigger fights.
I agree, because I like Sean. I saw him recently at the Jake Paul fight. I like him. He's a good guy, and he's a fucking great fighter. Plus, he's part of Team Sanibel with myself. So, as I said, I like him. I like watching him fight, and I like everything about him. He's cool. He's got style. There's something about him. He's got charisma. He's got that star power.
It factor, yeah.
100%. He's got that all day. He's got that in spades, and he fights very fucking well. I mean, he's striking. All right, granted, Chris Matinho was, came in last minute and all the rest of it and was undersized, but still, and he didn't finish him, if you will. The referee had to step in and save him from more punishment, but still, the striking display that he put on was beautiful. It was fucking outstanding. In fact, I'm going off on a tangent here, but Luigi Vendramini, did you see that? Not Luigi. Chris Matinho, did you see what he was doing the other day?
No, what happened?
Oh my God, Brian, look for this. Chris Matinho, and it said people talking about crap about UFC fighter pay. This guy's living his best life right now, and he had like a tumble dryer or a washing machine full of weed, right? And he had it all on fire, and he had two like models in bikinis on top of the washing machine, like stuff like that, and they had like these tubes coming out the top of the washing machine, and they're all smoking weed. So a giant fucking weed fire inside a washing machine with girls on a bikini. I mean, listen, as far as Instagram content goes, it was pretty original. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. It's very funny. It's just I'm such an old man now at this point that I think like weed is dumb. Like I'm a pothead because I have problems. And I need to
I was gonna say you just had that vape pen in your mouth.
No, but it's I'm a drug addict and it's sad. It's not like it's not fun. It's not a happy time.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Everyone they smoke weed, yeah, great. Okay, make a big deal out of it. Oh, look at me with my joint. I'm cool as fuck. Shut the fuck up.
I'm just not 18. I'm not like, oh my God, it's a tumbler. It's a washing machine full of weed. How cool is that? I'm like, I don't know, dude.
No, I wasn't looking at that. It was just the sheer lunacy of the video that I was seeing. I was like, what the fuck is going on? See if you can find that, anybody. But yeah, going back to and there you are right now, sucking on your plastic dick. What were we talking about?
It's the tiny dick.
Sean O'Malley. Yeah, you're right. As I said, I'm a fan of his, but I don't like what he's saying lately. I want to see him fight the best people. He was offered Frankie Edgar. We talked about this, and he said no, he didn't want to fight in Madison Square Garden. Also said he doesn't want to fight ranked guys under his current contract. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to hurt him in the long run, that kind of attitude. You got to be, you want to be seen as a guy that wants to fight everybody, anybody and everybody, and that's what Paddy's saying right now. But you are right on your point before. Luigi caught him. He got caught off Luigi, and Luigi can box. He's got heavy hands, but he's not known as being one of the hardest hitters in the UFC. To be fair, a lot of people aren't even particularly familiar with him. You know what I mean? And if you got caught off him, then he will get caught off some other people. So he does need to tuck that chin. But still, as we said, great debut.
Hey, Mike, I got to say something. We're talking so much MMA and so much boxing and so much combat sports. We forgot to mention that the NFL is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner for the NFL, is giving all new players a can't-miss offer for Week 1. Bet just $1 on any NFL game during the first week of the season and receive $200 in free bets instantly. No matter what, take advantage of this limited time offer right now.
That's right, you heard correct. DraftKings is giving away to all new players $200 in free bets instantly when you just place a bet of $1 or more on any Week 1 game. $1 turns into $200 free. Pretty remarkable deal. Head to DraftKings Sportsbook app right now to check out all the great promotions and daily odds boosts. Plus, you can make every game a big game with same game parlay. So what you got to do is to take advantage of this pretty spectacular offer. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code BYM to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any Week 1 game. Again, insane offer. That's promo code BYM to get your $200 for free to bet instantly for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indianapolis, or Pittsburgh only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Okay, take advantage, guys. Make some money. Let's get back into it.
This is another point on the list, but Justin Gaethje, just about a sort of with not necessarily not want to take fights, but Justin Gaethje was saying how he doesn't want to fight a 5-round main event if it's not, or a 5-round fight if it's not a main event or for a title. And I wanted to get your take on that because I kind of agree with him. I understand that. That's it's the same pay. It's nearly twice the work.
100%. I totally agree with him. In fact, here is the quote. Gaethje says that while we were calling for, Gaethje says that while May were calling, terrible sentence there, Harrington, but still, basically, he was offered a 5-round fight against Michael Chandler. And he said, fuck that, why would I sign up for 2 more rounds? I get paid the same. At the end of the day, if I'm ever going to suffer a critical chronic injury or ultimately death in that cage, it will be in rounds 4 or 5. So I'll save that for championship fights or main events. I'm cool. Anytime I got the email and you get the fight offer and you look at it and it's main event, you're excited. You think, okay, great, here we go again, another main event. Almost every fight I had was a fucking main event, but it's good, but it's like, ooh, 5 rounds, it's a bitch. And
So, Jeremy cut you off, but he was saying he'll fight main events or title fights, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They offered him a 5-round non-main event.
Yeah, no, I know that. Here's the point I was getting at. And a better way of describing it is because most of the times I was fighting 5-round fights, but when I got one that was like mid-card or a co-main event, and it was 3 rounds, I was like, nice. That's a better way of describing it. I always had a big smile on my face. I was like, fucking awesome, great. Because it's essentially half the work. You know what I mean? And it's, of course, on the night, it doesn't matter. The fight's the fight. But I'm talking about the training camp. The training camp for a 5-round fight is fucking brutal. It is brutal. The sparring's brutal. The conditioning's brutal. The pad work's brutal. It sucks. It sucks because a lot of the time you do 6 rounds. You do extra cardio to make sure you're prepared. You know what I mean? Doing 5 rounds versus 3, not on the night. Of course, on the night, it's just an extra 2 rounds. So what? No big deal. An extra 2 rounds. But it's every fucking training session, pushing yourself even further and harder. And the sport's hard enough to train as it is. So I kind of get what he's saying. I kind of agree with him.
I wonder if more injuries are in the 4th and 5th round than other rounds. I wonder if that's actually a true
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a stat out there, but you know, they call them the championship rounds, obviously, because you only get them in championship fights. But yeah, I mean, you've got more chance. You know, if you can go 3 rounds, you might get them out there in 4 and 5.
Yeah, look, for the fans, I think it's great. I mean, I guess strategically speaking, there are guys that would just rather take the 5-round fight because they feel as if they have they have better cardio. They're going to be able to outlast that person. They have more experience in 5-round fights. So I guess it's not always the case. There might be times that guys are like, fuck it, if you have a massive cardio advantage, you're like, oh, I'm just going to pull this guy into the 4th and 5th round and then be able to take over there. So it's, yeah, I guess there's a thought process in which taking it would make sense. But yeah, Justin Gaethje makes sense. A lot of respect for him. So I guess, are they fighting now only a 3-round fight? Is that what's going on?
I'm not sure if we've got an answer on that, but more than likely probably just be a 3-round. But yeah, you're right. Certain stylistic matches, you weaponize your cardio. You use that as a weapon. You take your time, you drag the fight out, you know, because you know you're fitter than them. Some guys that are typically very heavy muscled, you know, they'll start to fade. It takes a lot of oxygen to fuel all those muscles, you know what I mean? Whereas guys that can, you know, go longer, they have less muscle mass on them. You know, certainly if you're fighting Francis Ngannou, you want to get him to the 4th and 5th round. It's just hard getting him fucking there. Do you know what I mean? Like when I fought Vitor Belfort, the plan was drag him into the later rounds, take it easy. I was like, yeah, okay, cool, man, cool. Push him up against the fence, wrestle him, make him do that. Bing, fucking head kick, down you go. Nice one. Better game plan next time. I'm looking at this. I haven't seen this whatsoever, but it looks like fun, and I'm very, very interested. Is there a video to go with this Jan Blachowicz story, Harrington? Is there anything on there? Basically, Jan Blachowicz was on the Polish version of American Ninja Warrior. I want to see this. I love Jan Blachowicz. We're going to get him back on the show. Big fight coming up with Glover Teixeira soon on Abu Dhabi on Fight Island. Yeah, we got video here to go with this. Is that what that is? I see a link. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look.
Jan's a big boy. I feel like this would not be...
This is not his sport. Yeah, he's a big dude. Out of camp as well.
He was just a celebrity on, you know, a big name. Look how big he is, dude. This is fucking... That was the rope that he found in the woods.
He's doing all right, though, so far. I understood that bit.
Yeah. Let's see. Come on, Jan.
I'm like, you got to step up your pace a bit, Jan.
Yeah.
He's taking his sweet time, isn't he? Harrington, what are you talking about? He's doing great here.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
He just didn't make it all the way. It's goddamn near impossible. Bisping, how well do you think you could beat Jan Blachowicz on Ninja Warrior?
100%. In fact, no, what am I saying? I can hardly walk these days. In my prime. Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. He had a good go. I've seen people do way worse.
Yeah.
These days, not a chance. Not a chance. I don't know. Maybe. I'm a competitive bastard. I'd love to do something like that. New signing to the UFC. I saw him signing his contract today on Instagram. Alex Pereira, the last man to knock out Israel Adesanya, now on the UFC roster.
Yeah, interesting. I haven't followed his MMA career at all.
I think he's 3-1. He lost his first one, then had 3 more wins. Last one, I think, in the LFA. Tons of kickboxing fights. I think 70 odd something fights. I think he's lost 6 or 7 on there. But yeah, of course, the big one is he fought Israel Adesanya twice, beat him twice. First time by decision. Last one, I think it was a left hook. Knocked him out. Yeah, good knockout.
Beat him
twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and question, is he in Israel's division? Is he
weight class?
MMA?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. One would think so. Hey, just back that up. Let's see that. Oh, he shit as well afterwards.
Ooh, big left hook. Wow. And talk shit.
Yeah, he just missed with that kick. Left. Right hand, left up. Wow, he's got power, man.
Left hook, Larry.
Larry, there it is. Because Adesanya can take a shot. I don't know yet. Oh, he's coming at middleweight. Interesting.
Yeah, and by the way, that right there, 2-3 fights. And we'll see the first matchup they give him. We'll see, because then we're going to see if they're going to have, because if they give him a high-profile matchup for his debut, they're trying to do the same thing they did with Chandler, which is rush him straight into a title shot very quickly. And he's very inexperienced. 3-1 is very, very inexperienced.
Oh, it's nothing. 3-1, he's an absolute baby. You know what I mean? But with his resume, and obviously the Andre Michailidis. Why do I know that name? He's a jiu-jitsu guy, I think. With that resume and knocking out Adesanya, beating him twice. Well, what's a fun fight to make with a big storyline? Adesanya versus Pereira for the middleweight title. Do you know what I mean?
We got that video in high def of him getting knocked the fuck out.
And you know, for Adesanya, he's like, for fuck's sake, will this guy just fuck off? Do you know what I mean? He beat me twice in kickboxing. I've fucked that world off. I'm now the man. Because Izzy's awesome, man. He's great.
But Izzy's not going to go take him down. I think Izzy just got his purple belt, so they're going to kickbox each other.
He's not taking anybody down. No offense. But listen, learning the grappling side of things, because Izzy's had good takedown defense. Only Blachowicz got him down really and kept him down. He's had very good takedown defense. It takes a long time to learn that stuff. So obviously Izzy's up there in Auckland. They've got down there, should I say? They've got good coaches. What's his name? I forget his name. His coach. Whatever. Who cares? Doing a good job. But for Pereira, you know straight away everyone's going to be taking him down. Just like Izzy. He was his first person, robbed someone, I think it was. Yeah, everyone's just trying to take him down, but he stayed on his feet, and now he's the champ. So, you know.
Interesting. I'm excited to see this guy's debut.
Yeah, no, me too. They're going to give him a striker. You know.
Andreas Michailidis is his first fight. I don't know that guy at all.
Let me just look him up real quick, because I know the name. I think I've called his fights. By this UFC, boom. Let's have a look. Go on.
He is 1-1 in the UFC. His last fight was a win against KB Bular at the Reyes vs. Prohaska card.
Oh yeah.
Let's get Alex Pereira on the show. I would love to interview him.
I did call that fight. Yeah, Modestas Bukauskas lost him. Oh shit, yeah, Modestas Bukauskas beat him. That's who snapped his leg at the weekend. Remember Michailidis? I don't know if you saw it on Fight Island. There was the craziest fucking ending to a fight, and I felt quite bad for Michailidis. Michailidis, I believe it's pronounced. There he is, big old boy.
Yeah.
But what's his face? It's a lot of hard names. Modestas Bukauskas, Jesus Christ. Andreas Michailidis. Modestas beat him up pretty good, right? And it was the end of the first round. See if you can find a clip of this, Harrington or Brian. I felt sorry for the guy. I felt so sorry for Michailidis because he had a tough round, but he was okay. And the round ended, and he was sitting on the floor, right? And the fence was there, but it's where the door was, right? And he went to just lean back against the fence, but they opened the door, and the cornerman came in, and he went rolling out the fucking cage. No. And when the referee saw that, he called the fight off because he thought, he's fucked. But yeah, 100%, that's exactly what happened. He leaned back. I think he was already leaned on it, and then he sat forward, and then when he went to lean back again, they opened the door, and the cornerman came in, and the ref waved it off. Poor guy.
Who was in his corner? Harrington?
I have no idea, but yeah, it is very Harrington-esque. But poor guy. I would have appealed that for sure, 100%.
Yeah, unquestionably. Let me do plugs real quick while you tee up the next topic. Lots of stuff, guys. Obviously, you love the show. Please go subscribe on our iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. We love the great reviews. You can subscribe anywhere you get podcasts. Also, our YouTube channel is thumping and bumping. Go subscribe right there. Hit the notification button. Every time we go live, we have another show every Monday and Thursday at midnight Eastern. You will get a notification. The entire on-demand library, every episode we've ever done is all in one place, ad-free, uncensored, gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get a 7-day free trial. And the great Michael Bisping will be coming to the UK. I'm doing warm-up, London, Birmingham, Manchester, and Glasgow. Tickets available at myticket.co.uk. Grab them right now. I know.
Si s-au tocit bureții, Da, da, bureții căștilor tale mult iubite, acelea pe care ai dat o groază de bani, iar acum nu-ți mai vine să le porți deoarece te jenează rămășițele de burete. Intră acum pe padforce.ro și achiziționează o pereche de bureți noi pentru căștile tale. Vindem accesorii și piese de schimb pentru majoritatea brandurilor de căști precum Beats, Bose, Razer, Skull Candy, HyperX și multe altele. Te așteptăm pe padforce.ro.
Men, listen up. When it comes to keeping your privates in tip-top shape, use Manscaped's Lawnmower 4.0. Talking to you, Private Peters. Time to shape and scape privates. This trimmer features skin-safe technology to help reduce the risk of nick and cuts when it comes to trimming privates.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I meant your actual privates.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
That was not an order. And because it's waterproof, you can trim the field, rain or shine. If you like power, the Lawnmower 4.0 has a powerful 7,000 RPM motor, a 4,000K LED spotlight, a wireless charging system, and it's even got a travel lock. So what are you waiting for? Get your privates ready for action and order your Lawnmower 4.0 today at manscaped.com. If you want the ultimate care package, check out the Performance Package 4.0. You'll get the Lawnmower 4.0 and the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer.
Smell that?
I sure do. I think it's coming from down in your trenches. Luckily, Manscaped includes the Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray.
A refreshing spritz that's vegan and paraben-free?
I love the smell of ball toner in the morning. If you're using deodorant on your armpits, don't you think it's time for long-lasting protection on your groin grenades? That's why Manscaped also includes the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant.
Fire in the hole!
Attention! Looking smooth, privates. Looking smooth. Get your privates ready to engage by ordering the Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped today. Receive free worldwide shipping, a free pair of Manscaped boxer briefs, and a free Shed travel bag.
You can just let me have it. Just let me have it.
Jeez. I did. I'm agreeing with you. You got it. You got it. Finally.
And I am also on tour, going to be in lots of cities, New Brunswick, New Jersey, Austin, London, everywhere. Go to lewisofskanks.com, grab your tickets for those shows. And yeah, that's it.
Also, remember, get your merch. Like this one here. We've got some new stuff coming. BYM merch. No, it's not. What is it?
Yeah. BYMmerch.com.
BYMmerch.com. Brian, I just messaged you because I just looked on MMA Junkie to see if there's anything we're missing, and the headline is on the top of their thing. Evander Holyfield labors through the open workout. He's 58 years old. So do me a favor, Brian.
Ooh, I want to see that.
Yeah, I kind of want to see why they're saying labors through it. Obviously, that means he looks old and slow. Because I want to see it. I really do. I want to take a look at that.
You want Vitor to lose so badly.
Oh, nothing would bring me greater pleasure. And I have no problem admitting that. I don't like the guy. I don't like him. He's a piece of shit. But whatever. I'm not going to go on about it. He doesn't like me. Whatever. Fair play. But I would love to see Evander Holyfield here. Because remember, there was a lot of talk about him not getting licensed. Well, he didn't get licensed in California, so they moved the entire event.
When was his fight supposed to be happening? Was it the same? It wasn't the same card, right? He had another fight coming up?
No, like a month or so, something like that.
Yes,
but,
I mean that's still pretty far out if he's doing an 8-week training. I don't know how what his training camp looks like. Go ahead, Harrington.
No, the fight was supposed to be like 2 or 3 months ago, and the Teofimo Lopez not being able to be on the card called it off. So he was just waiting for a fight at that point.
Okay. So he basically fell back out of shape. Let's be honest. If it was 2 or 3 months ago, you ain't keeping up that, the intense training regime unless there's something to train for. And he's 58. He's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, one of the most famous boxers on the planet. He's not going to the gym to round out his skills. At 58 years old, he's like, man, my back is hurting like a motherfucker. I ain't going to the gym today. You know what I'm saying? Do we have that, Brian? Can you find it?
I like your Evander Holyfield. That's one of my favorite impressions.
Brian, are you there? Are you alive? Sir, show yourself.
I'm here. I'm trying to get it to play.
You do have it. It's all right. It's all right, my friend. We'll take a look.
Ooh, vamp. Yeah, Evander Holyfield, look, skill-wise and length-wise, I'm sure he has a pretty big reach advantage, right? The age, it's just not as much of a factor, in my opinion, when you consider the fact that Vitor Belfort is very old as well.
Yeah, but this 46 to 58 is a hell of a difference. Is this the video, Bri? Press play
old.
when you want. Yeah, he looks
But he still
old.
looks great, though. He looks cut.
He does. He looks all right. He's got nice cheekbones on him. He looks healthy.
He looks in shape. He looks in, he doesn't look...
Yeah. He doesn't look that bad so far. Okay, all right.
I mean, he also, maybe he's not trying to show off that much or break that much of a sweat.
He's looking better than what Jake Paul did when he was standing on his ass and doing the Titanic impression.
Yeah, he was doing... He doesn't seem like he's really moving around. He seems like he's just
No. That's what they do when they're warming up. They just,
Okay,
but let's take a look at this. Do we have any sound, Brian? I want to hear the pop.
Important.
Want to hear the pop. Of course, they got fucking music on. Yeah.
Yeah, that did look a little...
He looks old, and there's no shame in that. He's 58 years old, God bless him. Legend of a boxer. Absolute legend.
Yeah, no, that doesn't look good.
Yeah, technically it looks okay, but yeah, there's no real pop there. Who knows? Perhaps he's playing a little bit of mind games. Perhaps he's like, oh, look at me, I'm old and frail. But then on Saturday, he's like, ah! I doubt it, though. I doubt it. But I hope he is. Because, we talked about it, the meanness, right, that you're going to have to be a fighter. We were talking about it a few weeks ago, and I said, you got to see someone there and they're hurt and you're willing to take your knee and drive it into their face and all the rest of it. I don't think I could do that to a 58-year-old guy. Do you know what? I don't think I could. Even though they'd signed up and I was like, I felt faster and I was way ahead. It's like when you do the Shark Tank, and by that what I mean is it's what we used to do in England. Out here they do a different man every round. Out there, every minute your opponent changes so that you get a different look. But it's not good that. I prefer every round because you can't settle into a rhythm and start looking for openings and weaknesses and things like that. But still, the idea is every minute you change your opponent so it pushes your gas tank like crazy. Now, when you get to round 3 or round 5, that person in the middle, whether it's me or whoever it is, they are exhausted. Right? Some of them, you like this, and because you're fucked. You've had essentially 25 people changing it, 5 people every minute changing, right? And I've seen people come in and it's the last minute of 25 rounds where the opponent changes every minute and the man in the middle is knocked and they're coming in like they're trying to knock him out. Do you know what I mean? I've so many times, I'm like, whoa. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, he's clearly, he can hardly stand because he's so tired and you're going to go to town on him. You're going to tee off like that. You play the game. You just, come on. And you talk to him. He's like, come on, buddy. Come on, get your hands up. I know you're tired. Come on. Little body shot, a little Lewis one there. Boom, down you go. Boom. You don't fucking do that.
Yeah, well, I get it. It is fun to tee off on somebody that's tired. That's me and Harrington every time we train together.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I don't think I could do that to Evander Holyfield. God bless him. Well, saying that, I don't know if I could. Let's be honest.
I know. You're like, next thing you know, you wake up, like, what happened? Like, you fought Evander Holyfield and got knocked out.
What do you think happened? You got knocked the fuck out. Okay.
You don't remember the past 6 months? You signed on for a fight against Evander Holyfield, and you got knocked the fuck out. Hey, Mike, let's take a quick moment and thank RockAuto.com for supporting today's show. Rock Auto is an incredible website that offers the best prices on auto parts. Whether you're a person who works on his own car, if you run an auto body shop, if you have friends who work on cars, this is a great resource to save money, make sure you're saving money, make sure you're not getting ripped off, and they've been in business for over 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Look, listen, if you're into cars, you work on cars, or maybe you own a garage or something like that, if you're in the car business, rockauto.com is where you want to go. No more talking to counter guys who need to order your parts. You aren't really sure of what they're looking for. They never have quite what you need. And of course, they charge you those storefront markups. At rockauto.com, you can easily find everything you need. And whether you're a mechanic, as I say, an auto shop, or working on your own car, everybody has access to the same incredible prices at rockauto.com. So right now, if you're a car guy or gal, right now go to rockauto.com and check out all the parts available for your car. You're going to have a lot of fun because they literally have everything that you might need at incredible prices. Once more, go to rockauto.com. And by the way, no promo code needed as their pricing is already ridiculous. But make sure you tell them that we sent you, please, when you order. Go to rockauto.com and say that you heard about it on the Believe You Me podcast.
Shadows never fall.
All right. What else we got here? Then I'm just looking at it. Harrington, it is a Thursday. Is there any news stories you want to throw our way? Send us a volley. Tee us up.
Please.
Go ahead.
All right. I thought this one was kind of interesting. Giga Chikadze says that in the last fight he had against Edson Barboza, he could have had the Darce choke, but decided that, he said he was going to knock him out, so he let it go to get it. Here's the quote. I wanted to finish at some point with submission, but then I realized what I said. I said I was going to knock him out. When I had him in the Darce choke, I could finish him, but I realized I wanted to knock him out. I wanted to finish with strikes. That's why I let it go. I stand up and finish him with the extra 3-piece and a soda. Michael Bisping, have you ever heard of this before? A guy letting go of a submission to go for the knockout?
Yes, I have. I've heard about it in the opposite way, though. Remember Khabib? Remember what Khabib said about Justin Gaethje? He knew that Justin Gaethje's dad was there, so he wanted to finish him by submission rather than doing damage. I think that's the quote. Am I getting that? I'm assuming you know, Harrington.
Yeah, that was, he traded the breaking his arm in an arm bar for the rear naked choke.
That was it. He didn't want to snap his arm in front of his dad, and then afterwards you got to deal with the broken arm and all that shit. Whereas if you get him in a triangle, you either go to sleep or you tap, and as soon as you let go, everything's good. You go about your business. So he did that. So it's kind of a similar thing. Yeah, no problem with that. What do you think, Lewis?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Giga, obviously was very in control and felt like he could win that fight anywhere that he wanted it. I don't know. I mean, it's probably revisionist history a little bit. Like, I'm sure in his mind, he even believes it a little bit. He looks back and thinks of it that way. I don't wholly 100% buy it. I think that you sort of have a killer instinct once you're in there,
Yep.
I don't know that he would necessarily have given up that moment of killer instinct to be a little bit more stylistic. That would actually probably be bad strategy ultimately. But yeah, it's a good headline.
Yeah, it's a good headline. Also, though, for him actually being a high-level striker, which everybody knows he's an amazing striker, would have been cool for him to get a submission in his first main event. That would have been awesome. Say, hey, look, I'm not just a striker. But still, whatever. Got to love watching Giga Chikadze fight, man. He's going to be a big, big star. Harrington, what's next, my friend?
All right. Rampage Jackson was interviewed this week. They asked him, who the dirtiest fighter ever fought. He said, John Jones, for sure. When I fought him, whenever I was like any type of advantage, he would put his fingers in my eye. Remember, your eyeball is your weakest thing in your body, right? So when I was fighting him, he was like this, just outstretched hands and fingers the whole time. It's hard to train for this. He'd poke me in the eye, and then anytime you come into an advance, he'd kick your knee backwards. They should make that illegal. It was really hard fighting him. If anybody got an advantage on him, he's going to kick your knee backwards, keep you away, and he's going to figure it out. Guys, do you agree? Is John Jones the dirtiest fighter who's ever lived?
First of all, I want to say thank you, Rampage, for agreeing with me that the side oblique kick to the knee should be outlawed.
Well, only because he keeps losing fights to it. So, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, I want to ban punching. Okay, I got knocked out against Dan Henderson. That's not allowed anymore. George, I want to erase rear naked chokes. Also, that's a bad move because people lose consciousness, especially when they're badass enough not to tap. No, Harrington.
Do I think that John Jones is also the dirtiest fighter? Yeah, not only. I think it would be speculation, maybe a coincidence, but John Jones on camera has admitted that he finger fucks people's eyeballs on purpose. He laughed about it, and it's very dirty. Anything to win. Obviously, I think that he sort of bends the rules in any way that he can. He obviously has been very successful. So it's a really the light being shown on the rules, not necessarily the player who's bending them.
Yeah, he was actually, it wasn't an interview. He was talking on Brendan Sharp's podcast. I think it was like a fight companion style thing with Josh Thompson and a couple of other guys. He was on there, Brian Callen and Brendan Sharp. And yeah, they asked him about it. And John's always had that reputation for being a kind of a dirty fighter with the eye pokes and the sidekick. The sidekicks are, we talked about that last time. By the way, Bilal Muhammad came out on Twitter this week and said, that's it. Okay, Bisping convinced me that sidekicks to the leg should be legal. So there you go on that one. But no, he was talking about this because right now in the UFC, there's my hand. You got to have it up like this. And they said they changed it because Jones was always like that. And it is hard. If someone's got their hands out like that, it's horrible. Because I remember, like, if I was trying to take someone down, just in practice, I mean, if we're doing wrestling and they've got their hands out like this, I was terrified to shoot it because if they poke you in the eye, it fucking hurts. So they changed it from that to that. And I still think that having the hands vertical is such a stupid rule. I don't agree with it whatsoever.
So you think you should be able to have your hands like that?
No, I don't think that. I think you should have to have a loose fist.
You have to have. Okay, yeah. So you can keep your hands
not
open.
clenched tight, but just like bent. It's not hard because look, with your hands like that, and someone's coming in to shoot or whatever it is, like that. Or you do one movement, it goes like that. If your fingers are bent a little bit, less chance of eye pokes. I don't like that rule. I understand.
Sorry, I apologize.
You do it a lot. It's okay. Go ahead.
As do
used
you.
to it. I know I do.
Podcasters, you dickhead. Didn't Trevor Whitman create gloves that sort of kept your hands bent a little bit?
He does, and that's the quest that we're on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need different gloves that do combat that for sure. And we talked about it. I think a design where if you have a little bit of elastic or some kind of stretchy material that pulls the fingers in, but it's not too strong. So when you're totally relaxed, you're doing nothing, your fingers are in that position. But with the strength of your fingers, you have to do that. So to apply a submission or to grab whatever, you got to use a little bit of finger strength. So you just always has them in like that. So your hands are like that. And then if you want to grab, you just,
And that's not even uncomfortable because most people spawn regular boxing gloves and your hands are in that position as it is. I actually bought Trevor Whitman's boxing gloves, the whatever the
Onyx.
Onyx.
Yeah.
Really cool. And what's funny is I was pointing this, Diego pointed it out to me. They have like pressure points right here and right here on the wrist, on the glove, so it keeps your hand straight. And then I'm wearing this wrist brace because I have a little bit of a wrist thing going on, and it's the exact same pressure point. So the glove has the same pressure point right here on this part of the hand, so you can't really bend your wrists. It's really, really interesting. It feels very
How
different.
much did you pay for those?
$330.
Exactly. I'm sure they're great gloves, but Sanibel, great gloves, worn in my whole career and significantly cheaper. But still, I hope Trevor Whitman makes a lot of money out of those because they are great gloves by all accounts. But if you're looking for something a little more, a little more affordable, then Sanibel has got you covered. Gotta say that. What
of course, actually, they're terrible gloves. Fuck you, Trevor Whitman. Fuck your gloves. They're garbage.
You know who wants this rule to come in, don't you? Strength and conditioning coaches. Because it's like a new routine. They're gonna, all right, Michael Lewis, today we're focusing on that finger strength. You know what I mean? Give me 10 curls, they'll have little mini weights on your fingers. But still, that's what I think they should do. It's an easy fix, I think, and then the eye pokes are eradicated.
Yeah.
Maybe not eradicated. Harrington, got anything else?
You can tell I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel by the name I'm about to say. But Jorge Masvidal says he's open to putting a beating.
Whoa.
No?
You talking shit about Masvidal?
No, not that name.
You said you're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel.
I'm telling.
Well,
I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him right now.
Look, I think he'd agree with the sentiment in this quote here.
You know what? Say no more, Harrington. We heard you loud and clear.
No, we got it. You don't like him.
Jorge Masvidal's bottom of the barrel. He ain't shit. And that's that.
Loses one title fight to Kamaru Usman, one of the best. Pound
Next
for pound,
topic.
pound.
Well, I mean,
wow. Shame on you. Shame.
He didn't just lose. He got knocked out.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Christ.
He will find you. Jorge Masvidal is a psychopath. He will find you and he will fuck you up.
And he will kill you. Go on, finish the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he's offering to do here. Masvidal said he's open to putting a beating on any of the Paul brothers. He said the UFC would have to sign off on it, but nothing is impossible. Dana doesn't like those guys, and Dana knows I'll go in there and put a hurting on those kids. Maybe he does send in the fucking assassin. I'm going to beat up all the Pauls. So they put money in my pocket, that Logan Paul dude, Jake Paul, whoever Paul, so they put money in my pockets. Of course, I'd like to break some Disney character faces. Do you guys think Dana White signs off on that?
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that when I was there watching that fight and Tyron Woodley never showed up, and then now the narrative is that Jake Paul's beating all these fucking MMA guys, I was like, okay, I've got to do something about this. I'm like, fucking, if I can find a commission somewhere that will let me fight, and they don't want to fight me, they want guys that are still active, but fucking I would love to tee off on Jake Paul, because someone's got to do it. Nothing personal against the guy. I'm not hating on him, but Tyron never showed up at all. Tyron's more scared of running out of gas than what he is of getting punched in the face. Do you know what I mean? Ben Askren was not a representative whatsoever, but I just don't like the disrespect that's on the MMA community.
Do you want to see Jake Paul fight another MMA guy? And no, I don't think Dana White's going to sign off on Masvidal, who's a current UFC star, big star. And he's a smaller guy. You understand, Masvidal fought a lot at 155. He spent most of his career at 170. It's still Jake having a big advantage. And yes, I think Masvidal would smoke him, but at the same time, there's almost no upside in it for Dana White. It's not even like it's a Conor McGregor thing where Conor's such a massive pay-per-view draw that Dana's like, well, fuck it. I'll take a piece of the pay-per-view and make an insane amount of money and the UFC can co-promote it. I don't know that Masvidal brings that much in terms of star power and pay-per-view draw, against Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul's next opponent, whether it's Masvidal or the next guy, it's probably going to be comparable. At that point, there's not many people who are going to be able to draw the same way that Jake draws. So, yeah, I don't think Dana White would sign off on it. I don't think it's a good idea I don't think Jake Paul's going to want to fight any sort of high-level striker. They are picking their opponents. And look, Tyron, not for nothing, I still say this, Tyron could have won that fight. Tyron has a skill set to win that fight. There was moments in the fight where I was like, fuck, dude, if he really would just let his hands go, I think that he could have had that fight. I think a real skilled striker like Masvidal or Michael Bisping would be able to easily handle Jake. We watched Jake almost crumble to Tyron.
No, Masvidal would beat him. So there's too much to go into that fight. There's too many things to consider for that fight to happen. Number one, Jake Paul would want to fight him. Right now, if you're managing somebody like Jake Paul, you're going to look at that and go, it's not the right matchup for us. Because if you get beat, then the show is over. So I don't think they would take it. And then from Dana's side, of course, I don't think so either. I mean, listen, I'm not speaking for Dana, but if I was Dana White, Masvidal's a star. He's a big box office draw with the UFC, and God forbid, I think Masvidal would smoke him. He's a great boxer. He's got sensational boxing, very, very fast hands. And that crazy motherfucker's going to go forward and swing. Simple as that. He's going to go forward and box the fucking head off him. But God forbid he gets beat off Jake Paul, right? Then you've essentially lost the ability to make a lot of money off Jorge Masvidal. He's a pay-per-view star. He's a pay-per-view draw. Proved, tested, tried and tested. There we go. So it's a little bit of a gamble, because Masvidal would beat him, but you never know. We've seen crazier things happen, so it'd be a risk.
What happened?
It waters down the UFC. Dana's always said, I don't want any of that. It's all a little bit weird. It's a little bit silly. It's illegitimate. Dana's trying to run a professional sports league. We don't need to start having these freak show fights, these circus style events, sending one of our good guys over there to fight him. You never know, though.
Whatever happened to Masvidal and Jake Paul being buddies? They were friends when he was fighting Ben Askren. Wasn't he in the training with him in his corner, all this other stuff?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw something, but I just couldn't bring myself to read it. I did see a few headlines, but it wasn't clickbaity enough to get me to click.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, I'll let you get off to Jamaica soon. Brian says we've got a question to finish off on. Brian, what time's your flight, Lewis?
Like 6 in the morning, something like that, 7 in the morning.
So, so you got to be there at what, like 4, 5 in the morning?
a couple hours before, yeah.
Oh, God, I hate those flights.
Yeah, but I like getting there early because then once I get off the flight, then it's like another 45. Well, you got to go through immigration, but then another 45-minute drive to the villa, and then we're there. We're there nice and early, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, drinking a Red Stripe on the beach.
That's good. How long's the flight?
4 hours.
Oh, okay. Then that's nothing. If I ever do a long flight, like Callum just, went to fucking Bucharest, that style of flight, and he got out of bed. He made it home, by the way. The amount of people that have messaged me.
Oh, yeah. We didn't say it on the show. That's right.
Yeah. Very, very concerned. But thank you all for the well wishes. And that
was my first thought when I woke up. My eyes opened up, and I was like, "Is Callum alive?"
Yeah, no, he's good. He made it home in one piece. But any type of flight like that, I want to go late. I want to go late at night. Last thing I want to do. No, think about it. You don't.
No, I'm sorry. The reason I'm laughing is because how funny would it be if just like Callum wasn't all right and you just were going on with the podcast like nothing happened. Like obviously he's okay.
Oh yeah. No, sorry. Did I not mention? Yeah, he's dead. yeah, bit of a bad dude, but you know.
Anyway, where were we? The Jake Paul brother.
He was costing us a few quid. No, whenever I do a flight like that, a long flight, I always want to do it late at night because you're ready to go to sleep anyway. Yeah. I hate going on a long flight in the morning because you've just got out of bed. You've just got up. You said a night of rest. How are you going to sleep? But regardless, enjoy yourself. Have a great time. And Brian, this feels like a good time to end on a question. What do we have?
So we got a question here from Mr. Christian James about the future of Darren Till.
In order for Darren Till to progress forward in his career, does he need to move away from England? And what I mean by that, and Michael, obviously you could attest to this more than anybody, is the wrestling game in England deep enough for Till to overcome the top tier of his division? Because on Saturday's fight, he had no answer to getting off his back. Now, Bisping, obviously, a lot of people give you credit for the master of getting off the back by going to the cage and getting up. Till didn't seem to be overly enthusiastic by getting up. It almost seemed like Kevin Holland. He was just almost okay staying there, or he couldn't simply get up. What do you think he's got to do in order to progress? Does he need to move to America or Canada or somebody else with a top-tier wrestling team? Or does he need to put more time into wrestling, less time in the striking, and less time in the memes? Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Hey, well, first of all, what's his name, Brian?
Christian James.
Christian, thank you, Christian. Appreciate that. What a professionally done question. Well laid out. Good thought.
Also,
actually, a good question and hell of a beard.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you for taking your time away from planning to storm the Capitol again to submit your question.
Exactly. Hell of a beard, though. Yeah, no, listen, that's what everyone's saying. No, he doesn't need to leave the UK. We do have wrestling in England, and there's certainly people that can wrestle, or alternatively, you can fly people in. Darren's making enough money now, he can afford to do that. In terms of jiu-jitsu also, there's a lot of great jiu-jitsu in England. In the UK, all over, you know, Braulio Estima, one of the best guys in the world. He's not far. He's down in Birmingham. I used to train with him a lot. He's just got to do a lot of jiu-jitsu because he did look like he was a little lacking in that department. However, devil's advocate, he had the torn ACL. That's big news now. Everyone knows about it. Maybe that was impeding him. Maybe it was a little uncomfortable. Maybe he didn't do it and he was a little rusty. But yeah, he just needs to wrestle more and he needs to do more jiu-jitsu. You know, simple as that. Because now the blueprint's out there, you know what I mean? But yeah, focus on the jiu-jitsu, focus on the wrestling. Take some time off, come back and win some fights. All right, well, listen, Lewis, get out of here right about now.
Right about now.
And we'll be back on Monday with another show. Thanks for listening. All the best. Take care.
YouTube. This is for the fun of life, Luke, and we're going to get into that. No, it's not going to be negative stuff, Luke. You won't see me attacking Risen or Dana White putting me up in the video. It's going to be good times only, brother. Can't wait to do it with you.
All right, very good. Well, we got some business to attend to. We do have some MMA analysis and whatnot we will get to. Plus, we have fan submissions today. Plus, of course, as BC indicated, we're going to go through the top 20 moments after 200 episodes here on MK. And by the way, as BC kind of indicated, just to remind you one more time, this is I know he cast a wide net and thought of all the different elements, me and him and all the people in the show, but it's a BC curated list. I am very curious to see what it looks like in the end. I'm sure it is quite good because no one loves the product.
Luke, I know what you're thinking. It's going to be all BC in the dock, arting all over the place, but really
yes.
It's not. You'll be in fact, Luke, you own most of the top 10. You know, I did about 9 hours of research on this yesterday. I won't lie to you, Luke. I'm not kidding.
All right. I believe that your research is thorough, so I'm pretty excited about it. All right, so let's get the show started. As always, if you're watching, no matter if you're subscribed or not, hit the thumbs up. We really appreciate that when you do. By the way, after the episode is over, leave a comment about which of BC's list was your favorite. Which MK memory was your number one? BC's going to give us his number one, but I want to hear what yours was. Leave a comment below. And of course, if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? It is time to subscribe. Push us over that first 100K mark so we can move on to the next
This has been
goal.
a long, crawl from 90K to our goal of 100, but it's going to be worth it.
We hit a brick wall at 96 when we went on vacation.
Yeah.
And it damaged the algorithm, so we have to kind of juice things back up again. But we crossed 97K.
COVID stole your vacation, Luke. COVID did, and it also robbed us of our show's momentum. But hopefully today we can bring it back.
Yes, I am confident we can do good things. All right, so if you want to try Showtime and you haven't done that yet, you can. Showtime.com. You can get a 30-day free trial. If you like it, you can keep it. If not, you can pound sand. We have merch, and in fact, BC, well, why don't you tell the folks the good news about the merch, considering it's usually not good news about the merch.
Yeah, normally it's not good news, but they sent a new merch guy to our pre-show meeting to pump us up with confidence. And hey, Grundlemaker, I'm confident here. I'm fired up. I'm ready. We have new items on the merch store right now. MorningCombat.store is your home for the 2.0 merch. You want the BC and Luke rainbow-colored T-shirt and mug, you can have that. And the great news is, Friday, we're going to get some new items added. Monday, and this is a special, exclusive, limited quantity. I know a bunch of you saw me in Cleveland wearing the BC Hawaiian shirt with my face all over it. It's going to be in limited supply on Monday, so check that out. We have some big plans and projects and ideas with this, and the new items being cooked up in the incubator daily. So we're gonna get this merch going again. We want you to be wearing this shit, so get on there. Also, Luke, I want to tell you, you can still get merch 1.0, which is some of the most comfortable clothing of all time at store.show. That's SHO.com. Go into the Morning Combat tab. It's more, there's some more dad looking stuff in there, but we all have dads, so that's cool. I mean, Luke, is it possible that your dad could be walking around Washington D.C. Debating politics with people while wearing an MK hoodie? Is that possible at all?
No, it's impossible.
All right, well, not your dad, but other dads. Okay, there you go. There you go. Wear our merch. We love you.
Other dads would be able to do that kind of a thing. I think that is all of our housekeeping. So that leads us, of course, BC, to something we announced yesterday, the MK-DK partnership. That's right, DraftKings is now on board and presents Morning Combat. And it's time, everyone, to fire up your tailgate. The NFL is back. Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And when the NFL returning, DraftKings is giving new customers $200 in free bets instantly. All you got to do is bet $1 or more on any football game. So you don't want to miss this. Head to the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and place a bet of $1 or more on any week one game, so whatever that is for you, to receive $200 in free bets instantly. If Sportsbook is not available in your state yet, DraftKings still has huge cash prizes for grabs all season long with their daily fantasy contest. There's a daily fantasy app and there's the Sportsbook app. We need you to go to the Sportsbook app. And for week one, DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at a $1 million top prize. And of course, nothing adds to the excitement of watching a game. Like BC said yesterday, BC, you made this point. You can watch a game or not watch a game, but if you watch the game and you bet on it, there's a little bit more stakes involved. I mean, it makes the process a little bit more interesting.
You get a little action on them. I mean, you can live your life celibate, or you can chase Latin booty, right? If you add a little flavor on your food, a little sauce on your steak, so to speak, it increases life. And you mentioned NFL Week 1, Luke. It kicks off Thursday night with a big bang when the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, and Luke's arch nemesis take on the defending Super Bowl champions and steroid-free 44-year-old star quarterback Tom Brady. Luke, you want a star-studded matchup to kick off this relationship? It's okay when MK and DK get together for Bukkake. It's going to be fantastic Thursday night. Cowboys at Bucks. Plus 340, those Cowboys. Look, we know historically Dallas fades come playoff time, but they're usually hot early. I want to take some of that Cowboys plus money and believe that Tom Brady's hangover. We all saw that guy, right? Sloppy as shit coming off of that boat. I want to believe that's still a thing and see if the Cowboys can win me some money. MK and DK getting together on DraftKings here.
Well, if you're like me, the Dallas Cowboys will consistently enrage you. So here's your call to action, folks. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code. You can see it. If we can put the graphic up one more time at the bottom of the screen. There it is. Use the promo code COMBAT with a K, of course, how the show was spelled, to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any football game and get a free shot at $1 million prize for your first deposit. That's promo code COMBAT this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And as we said yesterday, ABC, if you don't, obviously we need you to bet on this for this contest and for the morning combat and everything else, but you can also just go to the boxing section and put on bets whatever you want. You can go to the UFC section. They have one. Of course, they're official betting partner of the UFC as well. And you can just put bets down there on the MMA side if that thing is, a little bit more your speed. Whatever you want to do, but get in on this action with the NFL Week 1 with DraftKings here in MK, and good things will happen.
Is there a worse deal than getting $200 of free bets to sign up for new customers? Is that a bad deal? No, it's not at all. You want to be entered in a chance to win $1 million? Do it, okay? You want to take betting advice from our brethren, Yanni the Greek, who was fantastic on Tuesday night's Dana White Contender Series broadcast. Use that advice on DraftKings here with MK. Let's do this thing.
All right. With that in mind, we have show to get to. We have the 20 best moments in the show's history a little bit later. First things first, just a few headlines. It's light on headlines today. For Friday's show, we will lean into all of the weekend's events as we normally do. But for today, we'll just sort of see what's out there. We'll start with Jorge Masvidal. He's not been doing a ton of interviews, but I know he spoke to MMA Junkie and ESPN, and he's been sort of figuring out where to go since losing to Kamaru Usman. It was a rematch that no one really asked for exactly. There was some interest in it, but he lost badly in his home state, so it's not clear where he goes. So he was asked about Nick Diaz, Brian Campbell, and here's what he said. If Nick looks good and does his job, why not me and Nick? I'd love to fight Nick. It's a classic fight. It's a fight that I always wanted to do since I was at Strikeforce at 155 pounds. I was like, man, that's a dude I would like to fight. Nothing personal, just because of his style, the way he leaves it all out there. If I get a fight with Nick, it'll be a blessing. BC, level of interest in Masvidal versus Diaz, but the Nick variety, not the Nate.
I got to be honest with you. My level of interest in Masvidal in general right now is low, and it's not a grudge against him, but it's for those things you mentioned. He got into a big fight that no one called for, that he didn't deserve, and, he got sent to hell. And, it's not that I hold that against him, Luke, but let's remember, this guy was certainly not an accidental superstar, but what he did in 2019 was something none of us would have ever seen coming. And he was the superstar we needed at that moment. He was Fighter of the Year. He was, must-see in every interview and every fight. It was always going to be hard at his age, he's 36, to build upon that, to keep up with that. And, I think he got as high and as far as he could. I mean, he headlined a freaking pay-per-view for a fake belt against a Diaz brother, forcing Canelo Alvarez to sit down on a couch and wait. That's awesome. That's incredible. What he's done since then, he hasn't been consistent. And look, the thing that made that turnaround so special was the level of activity. Sure, it was all the things that led to it, right? The reality show, sitting in the woods, the realization that he's probably better than he's performed, that he needs to start baptizing people and not care anymore. All that stuff's great, right? But it was the activity level, the consistency that kept him fresh and dangerous. He got to the point where we were putting him in the top 10 pound for pound at a time that we just didn't ever think that was possible. Since then, he just hasn't been active, and he's lost in big moments. So I got to give him this credit. Calling out Nick Diaz, even though it's a little ahead of schedule because Nick hasn't returned yet soon, but hasn't returned yet and shown that he's still a thing from that long layoff. This is the right lane for Jorge moving forward. But it's the right lane if you're in the same thought process that I am, Luke, that it's kind of all downhill from here for Jorge. I don't think he's ever going to fight for a title again. I don't think he's ever going to be in that spot. I do think there's life left for his brand if he can revive it, and this is the right way to revive it. Stay in this BMF category, get into Trash Talk Warriors, get into fights that are expected to be brawls against past their prime opponents, where he can dip a little bit back into that, whatever's left of that resurgent spirit, and get some big wins that can keep him a celebrity fighter. He may be the most elite celebrity fighter for all we know, but I think he's in that lane, Luke, and I don't think it's disrespectful to say that.
I don't think it's disrespectful to say that either, although, can you hear my neighbor mowing his lawn right outside my window? I'm pretty happy that he decided to mow the lawn right on the morning of MK, but okay, what are you going to do? In answering the point about this, I'm not nearly as down on the Masvidal experiment as you. I understand why folks might feel the way you do. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but I gotta say, I still think he has a great ability to deliver on what made Masvidal such a star in that run from the Askren fight on. There's a limit to who he can beat, but Nick Diaz, I mean, listen, it's not like Masvidal is saying, I'm going to get right back to that title and blah, 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 blah. You hear what he's saying. You don't even hear anything like that. He kind of realizes that window is probably closed, if not for now, maybe ever. But there's another window, which is what are some big-name fighters with some big-name fights that are action-oriented that would generate sales? And to what extent can I still participate in that? And obviously, I think he's still very much a big player in that one. I got to say, I think the Nick Diaz one, obviously he has business with Robbie Lawler, so he'll attend to that. But, if Nick wins that one, I got to tell you, I actually really like that idea. Listen, neither Diaz brother, I think I checked this morning, neither Diaz brother, obviously Nick wouldn't be, but even Nate is not ranked. I believe this is right. I got to double check there. They might dead wrong me. But I'm looking at lightweight. I don't see Nate Diaz. I'm looking at welterweight. I don't see Nate Diaz. They're not ranked. It's not like if Jorge took that fight, he's taking up anyone else's space or he's trying to get back in the line and other fighters who haven't had a chance can't break through yet. He's completely stepping away from that. Not completely, but he's not getting in the way and creating a bottleneck at the top of welterweight. So I actually feel like it's a great call. Now, the one that gets a little bit weird, BC, is he was asked about the Paul brothers. Quote, I'm going to beat up the Pauls, Masvidal told ESPN. If they put money in my pocket, that Logan dude, Jake Paul, whoever Paul dudes, if they put money in my pocket, of course I'd like to break some Disney characters' faces. I've been fighting men who have been training since 7 or 8 years old to do the same thing as me and what I want to do to them. Fighting guys like the Pauls is a bonus. UFC would have to sign off, but nothing is impossible. Dana doesn't like those guys, and Dana knows I'll go in there and put a hurting on those kids. Maybe he does send in the fucking assassin. BC, what is the chance that they make a Masvidal versus, let's say, Jake Paul fight, because that seems a little bit more doable, under the condition that Dana is doing it because he wants Jorge to go fuck those guys up?
That is low. I said it before, I mean it. For UFC and Dana to get involved in a co-promotional setup, specifically Jake Paul, because we both believe he's the more serious brother of the two. I mean, look, he'd have to go on a spree of knockouts. He would have had to have knocked out Tyron Woodley and then go on a spree of escalating knockouts in which his pay-per-view sales are rapidly rising as he's kind of burying, Randy Orton Legends Tour WWE style, one big name after another until Dana's like, F it, let's get our most marketable guy, we'll end it. That's a dream scenario. So I like these comments. Not the Paul brothers comment. I don't like that from Jorge. To me, that's a little bit of a yawn. But I like the comments about seeking big fights against big names better than the comments from Jorge a couple weeks ago of any. I don't know the exact setup of his contract at the moment. We rarely ever do, but I think he's got to look. What is his big super fight left? Super fight left. If it's Conor McGregor, then the Paul brothers are not a thing, and what he needs to do is stay in the UFC and stay active, winning big fights in sort of the BMF brawler category. And to your point before about not stealing anyone's place, he's not. There's always been a category unofficially in UFC for attraction-based fighters who are outside. It's rare that we get somebody that fills that role, but it's always been there. Unless he's putting all his money in the basket of a Paul fight to cash out with and waiting for his contract to be over and looking to stay as active as possible to get that contract to be over, I still think his big money fight is an aging washed Conor, Luke. And I think that's the ultimate BMF fight you can make in sort of this category. And if he goes in that direction, I think that's the best way to get people like me who are kind of in this, ho-hum Jorge mode out of that. Because, Luke, it didn't bother me as much, but a lot of people did turn against Jorge when, for his surprising political lean and very aggressive nature in that regard. And then, he got into outside the cage stuff, like promoting this promotion. And it's like, it's okay, it's cool, but like we kind of have a lot of those promotions go.
No, yes. No winter. Go. Okay.
going on that people care about at varying levels. I want to see a dialed-in Jorge who still wants to make big fun fights and big fun press conference moments and big fun all that. If he's going to stay in that lane, that's great. I don't think the Paul brothers are going to get into that with him, Luke, unless that's his specific stated goal, like a Tyron Woodley, to be cashing out at the end.
That's fair. I would say that, I don't know what the UFC wants to do, and they don't have any need to be in the Jake Paul business, but if you wanted to be, co-opting them would be obviously the strongest move, which they don't appear to be interested in. I will tell you that the Conor Masvidal fight, don't like that fight for Conor. I think Masvidal would do terrible things to him.
Right.
If I was in his team, I would strongly caution against that.
But isn't that his money fight, Luke? Isn't that Jorge's money fight? And soon, Conor could be out of options for the type of super fight where he has a B-side who will talk with him and can make us really, really care after his level of ability has vanished. Now, he's not there yet. You and I both believe Conor can still... let's be honest here. You and I, Luke Thomas and BC, both believe that Conor has one more big win left in him that will semi-revive. Again, I compared it to Chuck Liddell in the midst of that losing streak, beating Vonderlei in that war, and we're like, oh man, Chuck still got it. Like, there's one more of those for Conor, correct?
For sure.
Okay, so we're not there yet. We're not going to be there.
Okay.
Your target cannot be found. Your target is out of your line of sight. You're too far away. can't attack that now. You need a clear line. You need a clear line of sight.
There yet until we see, you know, we're close, but we're not there yet. When we're there, you know, look, Connor also has the Diaz trilogy as a lottery ticket to cash out as well. I think he's going to cash that out sooner than later, but I think Jorge's still that big, or Connor's still that big fight for Jorge. And even though I agree with you that as their abilities stand now, and maybe forever, but we don't know, yeah, that's a Masvidal win written all over it. But Connor may get desperate enough, Luke, where that's
and one.
You'd better be more competent than you look. I hope you've been training.
the type of fight he just needs to still get himself amped up to want to keep doing this at this level.
Let me ask you a question. It's not on the rundown, but it's just something I've been thinking of.
Yeah, I love when you order off the menu. Let's do it, Luke.
Well, here's what I mean. I've been thinking of, I don't know because I'm not there enough to really get a sense of things, but could the pandemic reshape Florida as a fight hub home? For folks who don't know, like the UFC was for a long time pretty reluctant to go to Florida after I think UFC 40 or so, which was in the Miami area, because the crowds have just never been good. They've historically not been good fight fans. But if you think about what's happened since the pandemic, obviously the major camps in MMA have always been there. And, you know, New York is kind of reopening in the sense that you've got this Teofimo fight taking place here and not too long from now. Obviously, UFC is going to go back there, it appears, from what I understand. So, you know, New York is due and overdue for a long time, and I think will always be a bit of a fight hub home. It's too big not to have something. But, dude, Florida is where all the action is for the most part. It's where just a ton of boxing is taking place, tons of MMA. Big shows, large and small. The commission is, for better or for worse, and often worse, pretty lenient about what kind of thing it's going to allow. And I just wonder, is this going to reshape that territory and reorganize where big fights are located as the fans get more educated and exposed to, you know, the consistent drumbeat of fights being held in their towns and locales? Do you think there's anything to the pandemic resorting Florida as a fight home, not for big camps just per se, but for the entire experience?
It could be. It could be. And we have heard Dana say, you know, if this pandemic keeps going in the wrong direction, don't worry. I've got sort of my circuit set up, which is the Apex in Vegas, Florida, and also Abu Dhabi. So if times get dire, it does come kind of down to that trifecta. Obviously, you can add Texas in there, which is really Houston really wanting to be in the UFC business. Well, that's why we had to have an interim heavyweight title, by the way. All the dots connect. But yeah, I mean, look at how quickly, Luke, Triller moved that shit down there. It's a lax commission, very tax friendly to big name fighters. COVID's not a real thing there, Luke, except for in the hospitals when people are taking L's, unfortunately, in very hard ways. And, Jacksonville went above, and the governor went above and beyond to get UFC back on track after the Tai Chi Palace disaster and the, hey, let's put BC as the star of a 4-minute video and then pull it down out of nowhere and act like it never happened. But, yeah, I mean, that's what. Hey, Luke, by the way.
I guess my question is can this reshape it as a place where Florida now has good fight fans? And again, I'm not besmirching people who are in Florida who are actual fight fans and have been this whole time, but historically it's always been they're a bit dicey when it comes to that. Could that be reshaped by just the influx of constant shows happening where folks begin to see, wow, this is sort of a regular thing here we've become accustomed to, like
and I think
it would be in Southern California?
The answer is yes, and I think it plays hand in hand with the emergence of the super camps in Florida, and the fact that there's so many close in proximity, and it's almost becoming, South Florida is almost becoming a like fighter hub lifestyle, and that's where it wasn't in boxing and MMA. To your earlier point, for a long time, big time boxing almost never comes to Florida. In fact, these recent pandemic cards where promoters are just looking to escape to Florida, it's been rare. They never. Why? Because it's typically a weird mixture of retirees and transplants and crazy localers who just aren't huge fight fans. And yes, to your question, I think it can be rebranded. But I also think, as UFC fans have shown, as long as they can get on a plane or get in a car illegally, they're going to travel for these shows, Luke. I mean, UFC still, for all the sins and issues at times, it's still a brand that sells itself with or without stars that show up to a pay-per-view and you'll be entertained. Not like it was in 2010, 2012 when, it was less watered down and, they almost sniffed $1 million at a couple of those pay-per-views without really strong main events at times, Luke, because that was just like they were so red hot. We're not there anymore. But, yeah, I think your overall question has a little bit of a point, Luke.
It'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. All right, for point number 2, it's sort of a smaller one. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this, BC, but it's the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series last night. It was an interesting trio. It was Dan Hellie, who was originally from this area, I think now with NFL Network and some other places, Laura Senko, and Daniel Cormier. An interesting combination, interesting trio there.
It was great.
Couple things here. We should sort of be at the point now, due to the state of the show and the state of regional MMA, where if you win on this show, it's almost a guarantee now you're going to get a contract. It did not used to be that way, but it sort of is at this point. BC, I don't know if we want to go through all of these. There were some guys
Before you do, Luke, can we talk just quickly generically about this show?
Sure.
I had our buddy, former NFL coach, probably be getting a job soon, Phil McKagan, jumping in and just being like, hey, man, in general, quality of this show is just getting better left and right in terms of the fighters. And I think that's true, Luke. I want to watch this show so much more than I want to watch Tough, even if at its very bare bones, it's not that much different. And I think the reason why is the way this thing is presented, the way the format is to bring out the most hungry fighters possible going for a finish. But Luke, I'll be honest with you. You and I admit we don't watch Tough really at all. I really, since Dana White's Contender Series has launched, haven't been a consistent watcher, meaning I'll tune in to watch 5-10 minutes here. If someone says, man, you got to see this one fighter, I'll go back and watch it. Last night's show was the first time after kind of seriously checking in the week before to see Laura Senko and get in line in that regard. This week was the first time I kind of watched start to finish. Luke, I was thoroughly entertained. Now I know why this is up against Morning Combat for MMA programming of the year. I thought the chemistry, first of all, between Senko and DC was top notch in terms of their calling of the actual technical stuff and the technique. Luke, for as good of a story Laura Senko was last week, being the first woman since UFC 1 to be in that chair, I thought she doubled her performance this time around. I mean, that was a great listen. But video packages to explain the hunger of the fighters. into how quickly that broadcast is paced, it's the only thing I might critique is I don't think Laura Senko should be doing the announcing. I just think it's not like she's got enough jobs out there, and it's a specific skill set. Doing the the winner. Outside of that, Luke, that's a top-notch show, and it's no wonder that it's producing sort of UFC-ready fighters time and time again, because it is so freaking set up to find the hungriest guy in the lot, or gal, or whatever. I mean, you saw the opening fight. The guy was at a wedding and got 72 hours of notice to drop everything and turn around. It was the opening story of the night. It was the main event. And he did, and he made weight. I mean, this vehicle, Luke, works, and I was thoroughly entertained to the point where I don't think I'm going to watch it anymore for this show or journalistically. I'm going to watch it as a fan. And I'm not doing this to try to suck up to anybody. I just really enjoyed that shit. Am I right?
Well, the premise is really interesting, right? Because what they're not offering you LFA, they're not offering you regional MMA. What they're offering you is we're going to stage fights as the in-between. We're going to stage the portion of regional MMA that's interesting to most MMA fans, right? We're going to give you the guys who are all seemingly UFC ready. Even the guys who lose are sometimes UFC ready, but certainly the winners at this point appear to be, for the most part, UFC ready. That's not exactly the case when you watch a full LFA card, which is as good as it can be. That will only be reserved for like the main event or maybe another fight on there, and you've got 10, 12, 13 fights. You have to deal with a lot of people who are still in their 4 to 5 fight range who aren't quite UFC ready. Contender Series gets rid of a lot of that. I mean, I was going to say, in fact, the guy who I found most impressive last night, and this was really no surprise, was Chidi Njokuani. I remember when Anthony Njokuani, his brother, fought Chris Horodecki in WEC and sent him to the land of wind and ghosts. And Chidi, he's been up and down. Like, he lost to like the good fighters in Bellator, like Koreshkov. He lost to Salter and some other ones. He's been a little bit inconsistent in terms of the amount of competition. I think he only fought once in each of the last 3 years, something like that. But he looked good yesterday. He looked really good. I did not know that he got his black belt. He's obviously always been a great striker, and the guy's had, almost 30 fights before getting into the Contender Series. They could have signed him outright. Like, they knew he was UFC ready, but they put him on the show probably for a specific reason, to bolster the show's appeal. Like, look at the kind of fighters that come through here before they can get into the UFC.
True.
And, again, a little bit extra. It didn't need to happen. And he got fouled a bunch of times, which sucked. But vicious ground and pound in the end. Dramatic improvement on the ground in terms of his wrestling and his balance and the scrambles. To me, Chidi Njokuani was far and away the best fighter on that show.
I know
Anyone else
you
stand out
used-
for you?
I know you used Chidi, I'm sorry, to kind of make your point, but you didn't give me a pure answer, Luke. Are you like, I feel like I've been missing this show all along, and when I finally, took the journey and sat down and buckled in, it's different enough from traditional UFC, which is, I know, their goal and everything they do production-wise, that I really love it. It's like its own niche product here that has a huge goal, and and it's effective at turning out these hammers in short notice. But I'm thoroughly entertained, Luke. Are you as high on it as I am?
I am. I mean, there's been inconsistent levels of entertainment week to week, which is to be expected. respect it. You can't engineer everything in that way. But yes, I feel like while the winners have just sort of at this point, they've all gotten contracts because there's just a need for turnover and obviously
cheap fighters,
cheaper talent.
There's a need for cheap talent. Luke, believe that.
Yeah, cheap talent. That's fine. But the point being is, I do feel like you're seeing some really, really respectable talent, guys who are clearly, in many cases, well beyond the regional scene that they're kind of stuck in, and they need this sort of graduating experience. It's proof of concept, and yes, I don't quite enjoy it in the same way you do because I watch a lot of other regional MMA, and I do a lot of tape studies, so it doesn't.
And you also
quite
watch with the
provide
volume
same.
off. Most of the time, you watch with the volume off for non-main cards, and you do a lot of weird stuff like that, Luke, where you don't take in the full.
The problem is I just don't get that much out of commentary anymore. But okay, a different question for a different day. Still, Chidi Njokuani was the big winner for me. If you look at some of the other winners here from the show, the other one that stood out to me was I was actually on a phone call when I was watching it, Josh Quinlan defeating Logan Urban at 47 seconds of round one. That dude came in looking like he was in phenomenal shape, whatever the circumstances.
That's the guy from the wedding, Luke. 72 hours notice and turned it around.
He was in good. He looked to be in tremendous condition, and his timing over the top of I think it was the jab of Urban, absolutely brilliant. Were those the top two performers for you?
No, I thought the best performer of the night was the flyweight Carlos Vergara, who had the 41-second knockout of Bruno Correa. It was a knee to the body. In fact, Bruno tapped out after the knee. Luke, I loved the way that video package ahead of time sort of set you up to get ready for this guy as, okay, there might be some defensive holes, but this guy's a banger. I love the little picture-in-picture of Mick Maynard giving a breakdown of why he had his eyes on these two guys for this matchup, and then to see the cockiness of Vergara to come out, throw bombs, land everything heavy, finish him kind of brutally. I mean, he made this look like he was fighting an amateur. It was that dominant of a win. But Luke, again, production-wise of why I'm kind of getting into this series in the same way, let's say, like the original Boxing the Contender, which is very tough, shows you the inside story of the family. They had the camera following this guy after the win, walking back to the locker room as he's got his son on speakerphone, being like, yeah, Daddy got the big win. When I come back, we're going to the Spirit Halloween store. I'll buy you everything you want. I just think that whole package, Luke, it won me over. And I think this guy, while obviously it's early in, where you're not going to know, do we have a future title contender here? We have a future wanter of all the smoke. And I'm not talking about Matt Barnes or his co-host, not Stackhouse, but Stack 5 himself, their Captain Jack. This guy used this platform, Luke, I think, to kind of win the show last night. And as you mentioned, 5 bouts, all winners got contracts, a little different than the past when a Brendan Loughnane can slip through the cracks. But, look, I admit when I take L's on this show, Luke, I was wrong about the PFL because they turned it around. And I think I've been wrong about this show, or maybe they just turned it around now that I'm getting ready to slide in. But I'll be there on Tuesday nights, whether you're coming with me or not.
I'll be there. I'll just be watching on mute. Okay, so that takes us to our quick hitter segment, BC. Just some fast in and outs on these. Travis Brown, who apparently has a podcast. I did not know about that. It's called Tough Business Podcast. He had Dana White on, and he called fighters who want more money whiny bitches. Quote, you guys, I think he's talking to Dana about UFC. You guys always paid me what you said you were going to pay me. Yeah, it's the law. And most of the time it was actually more. So all these people who are complaining about it, talking shit about it, at the end of the day, I'm the one who signed that effing contract, and then I'm going to turn around and bitch about it, or I'm going to bitch about it to an effing reporter? That doesn't make sense to me as a man. I signed that contract. If I wanted to get paid more, and you guys have always been upfront about it, hey, when you're a free agent, go find a better deal. Well, Travis Brown, noted economist. What do you think, BC?
Well, look, I don't want to steal the joke from you when I sent that to you over text, as we often do to each other a day out from the show to kind of get a feel of which stories we like for the rundown. You were sort of like, oh, that's rich, from the guy who, dropped everything and marry a millionaire and just walked off of the stage of his MMA career. Yeah, it comes off very little tone deaf. And there were further comments in which he said he had big-time offers after his UFC run ended, which really ended due to injury, right? And that he turned down those offers because he didn't want to be seen as a second-rate fighter. Well, he also had a nice financial backdrop. And as much as sometimes we and rag on some of the quotes or decision making by Ronda Rousey, it appears, Luke, she's very still financially smart in the project she's going after, and obviously made a ton of money with WWE. So it's interesting, Luke. I think this is obviously tied into fighter pay. Did you happen to see, not in the rundown here, but the comments Dana made last night after the Contender Series at the press conference, which was a long rant about how now with so many people in the pandemic not wanting to work and so many people being extra scared about COVID and not moving forward business-wise, that this is the best time ever to have dreams and be an entrepreneur because he'll run over people. And he's like, I don't think we've ever had a time in history like this. I got to tip the cap to John S. Nash. You know that guy, Luke? Used to be a huge fan of Hey Not the Face until him and I had a little dust up there over private tax bonuses and all that. But, he had a pretty heady retweet, which basically ripped. It's like, imagine if you're a fighter trying to do that, trying to capitalize on the moment and be entrepreneurial. Luke, do you feel like comments like that from Dana come off as tone deaf when we're in the midst of the fighter pay era in terms of criticism?
Yes. I don't think the fans will hold him to account for it. Like, there's really no downside if you're a fighter or a manager or a coach or anybody else who's not media to just blame media for the problem that whatever they're encountering. It's a very easy scapegoat because the media might push back, but it doesn't ever really result in anything meaningfully bad happening to the person who blames the media. So, I don't know that it's the best look per se, but it's not. There's no chance it backfires. So why not just blame them?
Well, Nash had tweeted, "What if my dream is to make a lot of money off people risking brain damage or worse, while making sure they only get a very small slice of the pie?" That's a snarky, perfect sort of response there. Not snarky Ginger level. Shout out to her on Twitter, big hater of the BC. But Luke, it's just interesting because Dana White's going so hard on the country is a mess right now. What's his exact quote? It's not time to sit back and collect checks or whatever. It's a time to get out there and go after it. I wonder if the fighters hear that and decide, you know what, Dana, you're right. We're going to band together and we're going to go after it right now in this climate. He's going to get what he doesn't want, Luke.
Listen, the only thing that matters in the end is not Dana versus the media or whatever. It's just the lawsuit, really, at this point, to see whether it goes forward and in what shape, and that's still very much to be seen, which is kind of funny, right? Because it's like, here's what Dana wrote. Every media member that talks about fighter pay is a scumbag who is basically just out there to get attention because they literally know nothing about the business or how or the pay or how any of this works. It's all part of the game. It's funny. I mean, what does that say about Hal Singer, the noted economist and professor who was the expert witness for the plaintiffs? He seems to know how this works, and he was quite adamant that the fighters are underpaid. Now, we'll see whether the judge agrees or disagrees with some of the analysis that was presented as part of the larger case, but plenty of smart people who know a lot more about this than either he or I seem to think that there's a very strong case they're underpaid. I mean, listen, this is the funny part about this. This is the last throes of a dying argument, right? You'll note that there's nothing in here that actually addresses the argument. This is what always happens with Dana, which I always try to explain to people. Not always. Sometimes he gets to the meat of the situation when he really has a good point. But in a losing argument, which this really, the fighter pay argument is over. It's over. We saw what the documents had to say. They get 20% or less per year, and it's baked in that way structurally to keep it at that level. That's what it is, okay? So at that point, you begin to realize they're not getting enough of the slice of the pie. Now, what that should be is a complicated question, but certainly what they're getting is not sufficient, and the business model is to blame for it. So the argument about it is over. And if you can't win on the merits, what can you win on? I know. Media demonization, right? This is what I always say to folks. The argument about whether fighter pay is true or false is not made true or false by who says it, by me or by Dana or by anybody else. It is true on the merits of the case. And the merits of the case are so overwhelming at this point that the only thing that can be resorted to, which is what happens here, either Dana insulting the media or Travis Brown insulting the fighters who go after it. It is puerile insults. And then management backslapping. That's all that's left. you actually can't look at the numbers and make the case that the fighters have been given a sufficient amount of money relative to the larger pie in terms of how it is distributed. You can't. It's not possible. So what you can do is everything else besides that. It is such a revelation when they do this that shows that the arguments for keeping pay at what it is, they're completely bankrupt. So let's just be insulting to the folks who put the case forward. And that's why we're in the state that we're in.
Well said, Luke. Well said. That's how 4-minute videos get made. You know, putting me at the forefront.
I'm not even.
The Helios will win this conflict. Your actions inspire us all. Your actions inspire us all.
Сбора нет еще, Бас?
Your actions inspire us all. Your actions inspire us all.
Я буду через 3 минуты. Привет.